Mother Nature took its toll last night here in Hyannis, but the sun is back out and shining, hoping it represents good things for the Harbor Hawks tonight. These Harbor Hawks looking for a bounce-back win from a tough opening night loss, and they're playing host tonight to the Cotuit Kettleers. With that, welcome into the broadcast, folks. Alongside Lyle Goldstein, I'm Brendan Howe from McKeon Park here. And Lyle, bouncing back, as I mentioned, are the Harbor Hawks off a tough opening night loss and extra innings. What were just some quick thoughts about that?
Well, there's a lot of guys in here that haven't gotten a whole lot of experience yet. It's their first time on the Cape, their first game on the Cape the other night. So there is a little bit of an adjustment period. But for a couple of guys, they really kind of stood out on opening night and made some early impressions here on these Harbor Hawk fans. You see Mitch McIntyre, who's a slight returner for the Harbor Hawks, get a couple of hits on his opening night. Jackson Olsen from Hartford, the only guy on the Cape with a 3-hit day. So a couple of guys swinging the bats well. And then toward the mound, Connor Ash with the 6 strikeouts in his relief outing. So when the first week of the summer kind of takes its toll, roles start to get somewhat established and guys really kind of start to take form a little bit. So yes, they didn't come out with the win on Monday against Chatham, but some guys really starting to show some promise here early on.
Some standouts from Monday, as you mentioned, Lyle, and some new faces in the lineup tonight. Who are you watching tonight?
Well, there's a couple guys we're going to have to look for. I mean, we talked about McIntyre already. We talked about Jackson Olsen. But again, a lot of guys here early on in the season from small schools, a lot of guys who are just looking to get their first kind of crack at Cape Cod. And one of the guys looking to do that tonight, Ian Fair from Northeastern. Again, small school, maybe not nationally recognized by everybody across the country, but for a guy like Fair in his just most current season at Northeastern, he had a monster year. He hit 357, 8 bombs. He stole almost a couple handfuls of bags. So he's a guy that can swing the bat. It'll just be a question of the adjustment to the wood bat and how he fares his first time on Cape Cod. But there's a lot of guys in the lineup that you'll get to hear about tonight, Brendan, and for all our fans listening, that are going to really have something to prove and something to really go for here in this first week. Fair's just one of many guys in the lineup tonight.
From McKeon Park, we are taking a quick break. We got Anthem and First Pitch coming up right here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back here at McKeon Park in Hyannis, Massachusetts, on the elbow of the Cape. Alongside Lyle Goldstein, I'm Brendan Howe. We welcome you all back into the broadcast. We're just moments away from action here in Game 2 of the Cape Cod Baseball League 2019 season for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. Playing host to the Cotuit Kettleers on the mound tonight for the Harbor Hawks, the right-hander Ben Abram out of Oklahoma. The freshman went 6-4, made 15 appearances for the Sooners this season. 63 and 2/3 innings pitched for him. He gave up 66 hits, yielding 30 earned runs, walked 16, and struck out 52. So, in a very impressive ratio there, and a 4.24 earned run average. He'll be going up against a lineup from the Kettleers that looks like this. Leading off and playing left field, Cameron Hill from Kentucky. Following him is Nick Gonzalez, the second baseman from New Mexico State. San Diego State product Casey Schmidt batting third and playing third. In the cleanup hole, Cameron Williams, the new transfer to Texas University, playing short. Colton Kessler from Kentucky behind the dish. Barrage Anu in right field from Kentucky. Aubrey Major from Xavier in center, followed by Mason Dodd at first from Belmont Abbey College. Grant Hallman from California Berkeley rounds out the order, and he is the designated hitter tonight. So Lyle, coming into tonight, Game 2 of the season for the Harbor Hawks, they had a heartbreaking extra innings loss at the hands of the Chatham Anglers, who have moved on to become 2-0 this season so far. Looking ahead to tonight, what are you expecting from these Harbor Hawks?
Well, I think it all starts with some pitching and defense, and you look right at the guy on the mound tonight, Ben Abram, getting the start. This guy has some really good stuff in his repertoire. He's got a fastball that sits in the low 90s. He's also got 3 quality off-speed pitches with a changeup, curveball, and slider. So we'll see how long they decide to work him tonight. Pitching coach Ray Korn said it'll likely be just about 4 innings or so, and then they'll go to the bullpen. But for Abram, this is a really good chance to see what he's got in store and what he can give the Harbor Hawks this summer, because good pitching equates to a lot of success here in the Cape League. So pitching and defense, if these guys behind Abram can give him some quality, really just kind of give him some quality time on the defensive side of the ball, I think the Harbor Hawks should be in for a good one tonight.
Cameron Hill striding to the plate, kicking some dirt around in that left-handed batter's box, and it looks like we are just about set for action here from McKeon Park. A much better evening here today than it was yesterday, as we had some rain move into the area overnight, Monday into Tuesday, and it wound up in a cancellation for the Harbor Hawks. Abram winds and deals, squaring around to Buntis Hill on the first pitch of the night, and he fouls it away. Abram stands at 6'7", 264, a very imposing figure out there on the mound for sure. Out of Georgetown, Ontario, Canada, rated as the 4th best prospect in Canada back in 2017. Here comes the 0-1 to Hill. Fastball popped up in the air into shallow center field. Coming in to get it is McIntyre, has it lined up, and he'll make the catch. So a quick out right off the bat for Abram.
Yeah, just a nice piece of soft contact that Abram draws. Often you don't see a whole lot of bunts drop down in this league, but over the last couple of games, we saw a pair from Hyannis at least attempted on Monday night, and then we see the leadoff hitter Cam Hill from Cotuit try to drop one down on the first pitch, but as a result, Abram battles back well, just gets some soft contact for an easy flyout.
So that'll bring up Nick Gonzalez from New Mexico State, playing second base for the Kettleers tonight, as he watches a breaking ball down and away, missing from Abram. Count moves to 1-0. A breakout campaign for Gonzalez at New Mexico State in 2019, named an All-American. .432 average for him with 16 home runs, so he does have flashes of power out of that number 2 hole for Cotuit. Swung on and driven the other way into right, falling fast, but not fast enough, as Mosley's able to track it down, moving toward the line, 2 away.
And he squared it up. Shot it down the right field line, but Rigsby Mosley, the Hyannis right fielder tonight, a good jump on it, moving out to his left, a little bit back, but had it right in his tracks all the way.
So Abram in good shape for a 1-2-3 inning to kick off his outing tonight. That'll bring up Casey Schmidt from San Diego State. Cotuit featuring him at third base tonight. Abram kicks and delivers. First pitch, a check swing, a called strike on the inside corner. Schmidt, an infielder as well as a right-handed pitcher at San Diego State, named a freshman All-American in 2018. The 0-1 from Abram. Breaking ball skips off the glove of Mitchell to the backstop, evens the count 1-1. Cameron Williams, a Texas product, awaiting on deck. 2 away, top half of the first from McKeon Park. On an absolutely gorgeous evening for baseball. Abram from the windup, the 1-1. At the knees, a called strike 2. Abram, a 4-pitch arsenal, working on a 5th. That's splitter. He's got a good fastball that sits around 88 to 92 and a changeup at 77 to 80. That one skips into the dirt, knocked down by Mitchell. Count moves to 2-2 here on Schmidt. Abram eyeing that 1-2-3 inning. Here's the next pitch. Called strike 3 at the knees. Got him with a fastball. So Schmidt fans, by way of the K, goes down looking, and Abram with a very solid 1-2-3 inning in the top of the first. Harbor Hawks coming up. Back here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. No score back here for the bottom of the first inning at McKeon Park. The Harbor Hawks coming to the plate. They'll be tasked with facing Sean Sullivan, the right-hander from California, Berkeley. His freshman season, he went 26 innings pitched, 28 hits, yielding 17 earned runs. He walked 16 while striking out 29 with a 5.88 ERA. Chad Gassman putting on a lineup for the Harbor Hawks tonight, looking like this. Mitch McIntyre in center field, followed by Jackson Olsen at shortstop. Ian Fair, the designated hitter, followed by Hunter Goodman in the cleanup spot in left. Rigsby Mosley in right field from Troy. Brooks Carlson, the first baseman from Sanford, batting 6th. Justin Mitchell behind the dish doing the catching from Oklahoma. Fox Simones at third base from James Madison University. And Adam Zaratsky rounding out the order from Judson at second. So in steps the left-handed batter Mitch McIntyre from BYU. Went 2 for 4 back in the opener on Monday as he takes a look at a strike belt high. 0-1. McIntyre stands 6 feet. Right on the dot. His mother Jill also played softball at BYU, so some family history at school for him. He fouls that one back into the net, 0-2. Sullivan eyeing a quick strikeout. The 0-2 pitch misses just outside. Couldn't entice McIntyre to go after it. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sullivan finishing his freshman season at California Berkeley. Went 52 innings back in high school as a senior with a 1.52 ERA. As a swing and a miss from McIntyre, he fans him on a high fastball. 1 gone for Jackson Olsen.
Yeah, and he did a nice job elevating that fastball there, put it right at about the letters, maybe a little bit above, and McIntyre just couldn't quite catch up with it.
So here comes the lefty Olsen, the shortstop tonight for the Harbor Hawks. Had a breakout on Monday. The only player on the Cape with 3 hits, as that one is fouled into the net. Went 3 for 4 with a couple of RBIs as well in the process. The 0-1 from Sullivan, taken low about shin high. Tried to pump in a fastball for strike 2, but could not. 1-1. Sullivan a long stare down at his catcher. Kessler gets the sign and misses with another fastball outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Jackson Olsen hails from Hartford University as he fouls tips that one back to the net again. 2-2. Was named to the America East All-Tournament team back in 2018 and the American East All-Academic team as well. The 2-2. Swung on and flared into center field. Major's got it lined up coming in and will make the grab for out number 2. That'll bring up the DH from Northeastern, Ian Fair, making his first appearance on the Cape this summer. Some new faces tonight in this Harbor Hawks lineup, and Fair is one of them as he check swings at a first pitch fastball down and away. Did not offer. 1-0. Breaking ball spun off there by Sullivan. Couldn't pick up the zone. 2 balls, no strikes. Fair in his sophomore season at Northeastern played 47 games, picked up 70 hits as he foul tips that one back to the brick wall. 2 balls and a strike on Fair. Also has some flashes of power, 8 home runs and 33 RBIs to go with a .357 average. The 2-strike offering, slapped down the third baseline foul. So Sean Sullivan looking to return the favor to the Harbor Hawks with a 1-2-3 inning. The next 2-strike offering on the way. Another one ripped down the first baseline toward the Cotuit bullpen foul. So the count still stays at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Fair, putting up a tough battle here against Sullivan. Trying to extend this first inning for Hunter Goodman, who awaits on deck. Breaking ball stayed up high at the letters. Couldn't get Fair to offer at it. Now the count runs full 3-2. Hyannis trying to strike first on the scoreboard. The payoff pitch from Sullivan is fouled away up and over everything and into the brush. Fair, a Massachusetts native from Walpole. He was a 4-year letter winner in baseball and soccer. Another payoff pitch on the ground toward third. Coming in on the Chargers, Schmidt fires off his back foot and gets Fair at first base in time to retire the side. No runs, no hits, nobody left on for the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the first. Top of the second coming up, still scoreless from McKeon Park on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. To the top of the second inning we go here from McKeon Park, and a scoreless ball game from Hyannis, Mass on the elbow of Cape Cod. It's Cameron Williams set to lead things off. The Texas product playing shortstop tonight for Cotuit against Ben Abrams, still on the mound back for his second inning of work. Cameron Williams played at Dallas Baptist, did not see any action in 2019, entered the transfer portal back in early June, and now committed to Texas. We're playing some summer ball here on the Cape as Abram kicks and fires his first pitch, a swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch on the outside corner. Abrams' 0-1 pitch, spiked up to the plate. Sliding to his right to block that one was Mitchell. Colton Kessler and Arajanu set to follow Williams here in the top of the second. The 1-1. Down and in there, skipping his back leg out of the way was Williams to avoid being struck. Saw a couple of hit batsmen in the game on Monday for the Harbor Hawks. As Williams awaits the 2-1, here it is. Swung on and fouled up off to the left. So Abram will receive a new baseball. Count pulls even at 2-2. Williams swiveling his shoulders around, awaiting the 2-2 offer from Abram. Here it is. Breaking ball into the dirt, blocked by Mitchell. Count runs full 3-2.
And that's a good pitch from Abram. Pitching coach Ray Corn talked a lot about the quality off-speed pitches he had. That had some late break to it, just didn't quite get to the spot it needed to be.
So Abram will try again with a full count against Williams. Here comes the 3-2. Fastball into the net. Kettleer's hitters making life tough on Abram early on in this outing, forcing him to throw a lot of pitches, trying to break into that bullpen. The next payoff from Abram. Down and away he walked. Tried to sneak a fastball down and away. Could not do it, so Williams is aboard with a walk. And that'll bring up Colton Kessler from Kentucky.
Yeah, just a couple pitches missing the zone there. He got ahead with 2 strikes. And he put that curveball in the dirt. Like we talked about, it has some hard and quality break to it, but couldn't entice the hitter Williams 2 pitches ago, and then tried to put a changeup on the outer half of the plate and missed just a bit down and away. So some good stuff from Abram. And usually pretty quality with his location. Just 1 walk given up there.
Runner aboard, nobody away as the first pitch to Kessler is fouled off into the net off to the left. Had a strong sophomore season in Lexington, Kentucky. Hit .297 with 5 home runs and 29 RBIs. That number of 5 home runs doesn't really do him justice. He made the All-Star game as well as the Home Run Derby in the Texas Collegiate League last summer. Trying to move Williams up 90 feet if he can, or perhaps more. Here comes the 0-1. That's pumped in an off-speed pitch, strike 2. Kessler doing the catching duties tonight for the Kettleers. Williams a short lead off of first, nobody away. Top half of the second inning. Abrams set with the glove about chest high. Couple checks on the runner at first, now deals. Foul tipped into the mitt. Count moves to 1-2 here on Colton Kessler. Abram stares in and gets his sign from Mitchell. A long pause, now set again at the chest, kicks and delivers. Popped up into foul territory, ranging after it is Simonis. Coming on now is Goodman as well. It will be nobody making the play. Simonis ran out of room over by the fence. So Fox gave it a good look over there, but just could not extend beyond the confines of the stadium. So Kessler with some new life up there at the plate. Taking back into that left side batter's box. Abrams ready. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball down by the shoe tops that time, corralled by Mitchell to keep that runner over at first base in Williams. Steady diet of breaking balls being showed from Abram early on here in this outing. He's tried to sneak a couple of backdoor fastballs by hitters. Hasn't worked, so he's gone to that big breaking ball. More specifically, the curve. There's the next 2-strike offering. That's in there. Strike 3, ring him up. Fastball in the inside corner as Kessler will take the walk back to the dugout. That'll bring up Arajanu.
And now Abram continuing to show good placement with the fastball. That's 2 looking strikeouts in his last 3 batters dating back to the last out of the first. So you talked about it, Brendan, the quality off speed he's been showing in a healthy dose of the breaking balls, but he can also come back with that fastball. Not always working a backdoor, people. It's a good component to have in your back pocket, but sometimes just attacking hitters with the fastball will do the job like he did right there.
So here is the left-handed hitter, Arajanu, stepping in for the first time tonight against the Harbor Hawks. Big wave and a miss, and a breaking ball down in the dirt. No balls on 1 strike. Anu will be featured at Kentucky. He was a transfer from Wallace Community College. Played in 54 games, a .394 average with 19 homers. He's got a big bat coming in the middle of this Cotuit lineup as he fouls one away to the left. Batting in the 6th hole tonight. It'll be followed by Aubrey Major. Double play is in order for the Harbor Hawks to potentially get out of this inning. Nothing in 2 here on Anu. Abram looking for his 3rd strikeout of the ball game. Here's the pitch. Swung on and spoiled away again off into the stands down the left field line. Hyannis tonight vying for their first win of the 2019 summer. They fell at the hands of the Chatham Anglers back on Monday in an extra innings loss 5-4. Here comes the next 0-2 to Anu. Swung on and missed a breaking ball into the dirt. And that is out number 2 of the inning. Here comes Aubrey Major from Xavier, the center fielder.
And right there's the breaking ball from Abram. Just fans the hitter Anu. Back-to-back strikeouts here in the second. He's starting to get a feel of things and a quality command of his pitches here pretty early on. So he throws back to first quickly, but runner back safely. For Hyannis, we talked about it a little bit on Monday, Brendan, but a lot of walks were issued in that first night, and that'll happen a lot in the first couple nights of the Cape. But for a kid like Abram, getting his first start, wasting no time.
Not at all trying to retire the side here against Aubrey Major, batting from the left side against Abram, the righty. This one's on the ground towards short, ranging way over to get it is Olsen. Spin throw to first will not be in time. So both runners will be safe. Williams up to second. Major aboard at first now with 2 away for Mason Dodd.
And a nice job by Jackson Olsen, the shortstop, to knock it down. He had to quickly move to his left. Got the glove down in time to prevent it from trickling into center, but would have been a tough spin and throw to nab the runner in Major. A good effort, but Major in his speed just beat it out.
It was a good play from Olsen to range all that way to keep that one from trickling into center field, because it could have been a worse situation with men on the corners potentially. And here's Mason Dodd out of Belmont. Played 51 games, a .313 average for him this season as he watches a breaking ball into the dirt for ball 1. Couple of runners aboard, 2 away, top of the second from McKeon Park. Right-hander Ben Abram, the freshman from Oklahoma, trying to do what he can to keep the Harbor Hawks in a scoreless game. Check on the runner at second, the 1-0. That's in there on the inside corner for a strike to even the count 1-1. And Lyle, you mentioned walks being an issue in the early weeks of the Cape Cod season. They weren't an issue for Abram at Oklahoma in his freshman season, just 16 and 63 2/3. So definitely not a guy that issues a lot of free passes for sure. It's got a 1-1 count here against Mason Dodd. Another check on that runner at second. Here's the pitch. Big wave and a miss that time. Breaking ball about a 59-footer.
Well, it's like you were just alluding to, Brendan. When you have the stuff that Ben Abram does and can throw 4 quality pitches for strikes, often in your freshman season, there might be some struggles, sometimes getting too cute with it, and as a result, it can lead to some walks. But for Ben Abram, clearly took some pride in the command of all 4 of his pitches, and as a result, ball was always around the zone. Didn't usually get himself into too much walk trouble.
Also a big strikeout guy. The 2-strike pitch that time is again on the ground toward Olson. A much easier play. He'll go the short way to second for the force to retire the side. So Cotuit's mini threat goes by the board. Still scoreless as we head to the bottom of the second here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the second inning here from McKeon Park. 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Harbor Hawks here in this half of the inning. Hunter Goodman, Rigsby Mosley, and Brooks Carlson due up against Sean Sullivan, the starter, still on the mound for Cotuit. Harbor Hawks went 1, 2, 3 in their half of the first, looking to change that here in the second. Still scoreless from McKeon Park. Ben Abram looking very solid on the mound. Harbor Hawks trying to pick him up with the bats here in this inning. As Hunter Goodman takes a watch at a curveball that ran too wide. 1-0 on the way. Another one tails off too far out of the zone, 2-0. Goodman 0 for 4 back on Monday with a run scored. Trying to change his fortunes in his second game on the Cape as he looks at a strike. Make the count 2-1. Sullivan working quickly here as this one is flared foul off to the right and up and over the press box. Sullivan's 2-1. In there, strike 3. My apologies. That count was 2-2 as Goodman goes down for the first out of the second. That'll bring up Rigsby Mosley.
And Sullivan counters with another good high fastball. He got McIntyre with it in the first swinging, and there, right at the top of the strike zone, right letter high to get Goodman looking.
So here is Rigsby Mosley, the right fielder from Troy, as he looks at a strike on the outside corner from Sullivan. 0 for 1 with an RBI and walked a couple times back on Monday in the opener. Fouled off into the netting. Evens up the count, a ball and a strike. So we talked about how good Abram has looked on the mound. Sullivan countering with a couple of strikeouts in his outing so far and make it 4 straight as he's looking to retire Mosley to make it 5 as he watches a fastball high. The 1-2. Swung on and sent up and into the stands again, a souvenir. Brooks Carlson waits on deck. The next 2-strike pitch from Sullivan. That's in there. A backdoor breaking ball, strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts to begin the second. Make it 3 already for Sullivan, and that'll bring up Carlson.
And we've seen Sean Sullivan keep the ball up at the top of the zone a couple of times with the fastball, but there to the lefty in Mosley. Just drops in a breaking ball down and out right at the bottom of the zone and freezes him.
So Brooks Carlson up to the plate now, batting from the right side. Watches that one skip into the dirt up to Kessler. 1 ball, no strikes. Carlson struggled a bit back on Monday, 0 for 5 with 4 strikeouts. So definitely looking for a breakthrough game against the Cotuit Cavaliers tonight. As that one is roped down the right field line, slicing toward the chalk, and it will foul. Carlson just a bit behind the fastball that time from Sullivan. Carlson's high school coach, Casey Dunn, spoke incredibly highly of him and thinks that he has a lot of potential here on the Cape. Quoted him to be one of the best hitters in the state, and he can develop into a middle-of-the-lineup type guy, which he is featured tonight in the number 6 hole for Chad Gassman and the Harbor Hawks. Here's the next pitch. That one is down into the dirt, picked by Kessler pretty nicely as it trickles in front of the home plate area. As Sullivan thought he was receiving a new ball from the umpire as well as the catcher Kessler. A bit of confusion there, and he will retrieve the one that sailed behind the mound.
He just kind of looked like a lost bird for a second. Like you said, he thought one guy was giving him the ball. It turned out to be the other, just flew right over his head.
Bit of a deer in the headlights as this one is sent in the air to right field. Drifting back toward the wall is Anu. Still back onto the track, and he will make the catch, and that will end the inning. So the Harbor Hawks again go 1-2-3. It's been 6 up, 6 down for Sullivan. He's looked awfully impressive. The Cotuit bats coming back to the plate in the top of the 3rd on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Top of the 3rd, set to get underway here at McKeon Park. Cotuit sent 6 men to the plate, all of them retired. Hyannis has sent 6 men to the plate, all retired. Ben Abram back on the mound for inning number 3 of his evening, and he's set to face the 7, 8, 9 of the Cotuit lineup. Or rather, the 9-1-2. Abram went 1-2-3 in the first, gave up the walk and then the single to Aubrey Major. So it'll be the number 9 hitter, Grant Holman, the Cal designated hitter, as he digs in from the right side, kicks some dirt with his right foot up toward the front of the box, and takes a couple of practice swings. So Abram, 2 base runners reached in the second, but got out of it with a 6-4 fielder's choice. Winds and deals the first pitch. Breaking ball on the outer edge for strike 1. Holman plays for the Cal Golden Bears up in Northern California in Berkeley. So he wiggles the bat, watches the next pitch go by, breaking ball, this one just a little bit away. So ball and a strike to Holman. Stands at 6'6", 225 pounds. Even stance as he swings at the next pitch and pops one foul up and out of play on the right side. So Abram continuing to mix in his pitch as well. He's already got 2 looking strikeouts. Effective use of the breaking ball thus far. He's working from the windup and the first base side of the rubber. Winds and deals. Fouled off toward the third base side. So 0-0 the score in the top of the third. A slight wind here at McKeon Park. The sun shining bright right over the ball field. Abram gets the sign from his catcher Justin Mitchell and delivers. Breaking ball down low. Two and two the count. As Holman quickly steps out of the box, now flips the bat out at the mound once, pointing it directly at Abram and back into his stance, feet shoulder width apart. Kicks and deals from Abram, fans him for strike 3. Holman gives half a swing out of courtesy, but comes up empty for the first out of the top of the third. 4 strikeouts on the night for Ben Abram, and he is rolling.
Yeah, that was a power versus power matchup right there, Lyle, in terms of height. 6'7" versus 6'6", and Abram wins the battle with a nice off-speed breaking ball into the dirt, got Holman to offer. And like you said, the 4th strikeout of the game looking very strong.
So now Cotuit flips the lineup over back to the leadoff man, Cam Hill. From the left side, Abram's first offering, it's a fastball low. Hyannis 0-1 on the year. As Brendan touched on, they lost in extra innings to Chatham by a score of 5-4 on Monday night. Abrams 1-0, cut and a miss, strike 1. But in that game on Monday, Hyannis countered with right-hander Connor Ash out of Missouri, second man into the game after starter Joe Quintal went 3 innings. Ash threw 3 innings of his own, gave up just 1 hit, struck out 6. And on that opening night, sometimes it takes some guys to adjust a little bit, but not Ash. A part of that could have been due to the man who was behind the plate for him and his own catcher, Chad McDaniel, who also hails from Missouri University. The next pitch to Hill, he squares to bunt, hits him right on the foot, checks down to third to see if he went around. And third base umpire Al Liberdoni says he did not. So as a result, it's a hit by pitch. Hill tosses the bat back toward the first base Cotuit dugout and jogs down to first, trying to shake out that right ankle a little bit, as it looks like that's where it popped him.
Yeah, a bit of a rough at bat there for Hill. He had a one-handed swing on a pitch earlier in the at-bat and went to retrieve some pine tar. He fixed that issue, and then the next pitch strikes him on the foot.
So second free pass issued by Abram today. He walked Cameron Williams in the second, now a hit batter to the leadoff man, Hill. That brings up Nick Gonzalez, second baseman out of New Mexico State, as the Oklahoma Sooner winds and deals out of the stretch, fastball away. But going back to the 6 strikeouts from Ash, always helps when a pitcher and catcher are on the same page. For Connor, he was certainly given some assistance by a guy he knows very well and has caught him several times during the school season. And tonight, for Abram, who's so far gone 2 1/3 scoreless, has a teammate of his own behind the plate as well. 1-0, fastball down and away. 2 balls and no strikes to the ever dangerous Nick Gonzalez. Behind the plate tonight for Hyannis, Justin Mitchell out of the University of Oklahoma, much like the freshman Abram. And he's a guy that Ben clearly knows pretty well, as they've been on a similar page so far through the first 2 1/3. Looks down, now ready from the stretch, the 2-0. Fastball down and outside again. So behind in the count to Gonzalez, who he opts to be very careful with. As Nick adjusts the batting gloves outside the box, he has 1 foot out, 1 foot in. Right hand to the barrel of the bat and takes half a practice swing. Hill a short lead at first, being held on by Harbor Hawks first baseman Brooks Carlson. Now Abram gets the sign in the 3-0 offering. Fastball down low. Nick Gonzalez walked on 4 straight pitches as he trots down to first. Hill up to second. And Cotuit's got something brewing here in the top of the 3rd.
Yeah, perhaps that hit by pitch to Hill rattled Abram a little bit. Gonzalez draws the walk, but Abram has had some issues with control out of the stretch tonight. He's worked very well from the windup, but he's had some control issues out of the stretch with that fastball, and he's picked up a couple of strikeouts in the last inning after the walk to Williams, but it hasn't come back to bite him just yet. But a couple runners aboard here could be dangerous.
So now things get turned to Casey Schmidt. 0 for 1 today with a looking strikeout to end the top of the 1st. He was the first strikeout culprit of Ben Abram in his time on Cape Cod, as the freshman making his debut tonight here on the elbow of Massachusetts. Schmidt 1 for 3 last night, as the Kettleers dropped the contest to Chatham at their home ballpark of Lowell Park by a score of 8-7. Now Ben Abram from the first base side checks the runner at second and delivers out of the stretch. Fastball low. So Hill the man at second. See if Mike Roberts opts to be aggressive. Infield back at double play depth. The 6'7" Abram quickly spinned his hand, asking for more signs, and now he gets one he likes. Sets belt high and checks the runner. 1-0, cut and a miss, strike 1. So after 5 straight balls thrown, finally gets a missed bat, courtesy of Casey Schmidt, to even the count. But Casey Schmidt has a dangerous bat of his own. Preseason, 3rd-team All-American in 2019. And he hit .315 in the year of 2018 with 5 bombs. Abram, couple of peeks at the runner Hill at second, and now comes home. Fastball down and away. But Casey Schmidt, while he has the ability to swing the bat and swing it well, as evident from his start in the number 3 spot tonight, he's more known for what he can do on the bump. 2-way player at San Diego State. And his ability to throw the baseball is what garnered him those All-American honors. Abram keeping a close eye on the runner Hill, now comes home. Breaking ball in the dirt, slightly gets away from Mitchell. Both runners advance and no throw. Hill down to 3rd, Gonzalez up to 2nd, and Cotuit has 2 runners in scoring position.
Tough one for Mitchell to handle there, Lyle. Curveball down and away. Mitchell had to scamper to his right to try and corral that one, and both runners had a pretty sizable lead, so not a problem for them to advance 90 feet.
So Abram, brushing off the dirt of the baseball behind the mound, now gets back on as Schmidt starts to make his way back into the box. Infield still back with just 1 down in the top of the 3rd. 0-0 still the score, but the Kettleers threatening. Abram opts to work out of the stretch again and fires home. Swing and a high pop-up into shallow right field. Coming in is Rigsby Mosley, calling everybody up. Makes the catch. Throw home. Tagging is the runner. Hill throws up the first base line and no applied tag. Hill steps on the plate as the Kettleers have their first run of the evening. A sacrifice fly from Casey Schmidt does the job, and it's 1-0 Cotuit in the top of the 3rd.
That's exactly the approach you want to take there if you're Schmidt. Not trying doing too much. Fastball on the outside half of the plate. Just drive it the other way, and got it deep enough where Mosley had to come in to get it, but was trailing off a little bit to the left. Made it a tough throw, threw it up the line, so Mitchell could not stay and cover home plate to apply the tag in time.
Gonzalez held at 2nd on the play. And Rigsby Mosley, the right fielder, had to come way in on it. Looked like he had a chance to nab the runner at the plate, Hill. But a little bit of a wide throw, and the speed of Cam Hill out of Kentucky did the job. So in comes the number 4 hitter, Cameron Williams, as he calls time. The lefty steps out of the box, now back in, and flips the bat out at the mound a couple of times. Abram gazes in at him, and now sets his glove chest high. 1 peek at Gonzalez at 2nd, and delivers. Swinging a high drive down the right field line, hooking way foul and gets well out of play. Williams put a good charge into that one, but just a little out in front of it as he hooks it to the right. So Cameron Williams, formerly of Dallas Baptist, is set to play for the University of Texas come the 2020 school season. Abram giving a long look at Gonzalez at second, and now comes home. Fastball right at the knees and down central. It's 0-2. Williams walked in his first at bat back in the top of the second and has an RBI opportunity at hand. Abram just one strike away from avoiding further damage. No hold at second base, and he delivers. Breaking ball in the dirt, chested up by Justin Mitchell, the catcher, as it trickles out in front of home plate. No advancement from Nick Gonzalez, the runner. Still a wind here at McKeon Park, blowing from right to left out toward right center field. Shortstop Jackson Olsen starting to shift to his left a little bit, up the middle. Pay a little bit of attention to Gonzalez. Abram gives him a look, comes home, and it's fouled off behind home plate. But Cameron Williams, seeing some time up on the Cape this summer, as evident here in the first couple of days with Cotuit, but he didn't play at all in 2019 at Dallas Baptist as he was set to transfer. And on top of that, 2018, he only played 6 games. So kind of working back into the groove of things as the 6'7" righty Abram checks the runner and fires. Spikes a fastball in the dirt, skips away from Mitchell, and moving from second to third is Nick Gonzalez.
Yeah, that one clearly skipping out of the hand of Abram that time. A fastball, he spiked it well off to the left of home plate there, and it got all the way back to the brick wall, the backstop, behind the hitter, Williams, who had to come forward onto the plate to avoid being hit.
So now another Cotuit runner 90 feet away. Williams, who, as I mentioned a minute ago, walked in his first at bat, has 2s across the board. 2-2 count with 2 down. And the Kettleers 90 feet away from potentially plating their second run. The righty Abram nods to Mitchell and comes home. Swing and nubbed out to second base. Charging in, Adam Zaratsky flips to first in time, and that'll end the inning. So a sacrifice fly scores the first run of the day for Cotuit, but Abram avoids further damage. Hyannis coming up in the bottom of the third, looking to get it back. It'll be Justin Mitchell, Fox Simonis, and Adam Zaratsky when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 7, 8, 9 due up for Hyannis in the bottom of the third as Cotuit righty Sean Sullivan makes his way back onto the mound for inning number 3. And it'll be the Oklahoma catcher Justin Mitchell digging in for his first plate appearance of his Harbor Hawks summer. Righty Sullivan winds and fires a first pitch breaking ball. It's on the outer edge for strike 1. So Mitchell's been busy back behind the plate for his battery man and college teammate Ben Abram. The 1-1 comes in. It's a fastball in the dirt. So Mitchell hoping to get a handful of opportunities to catch up here this summer. Of course, a catcher by trade, but he's had to do a lot of designated hitting in his time at Oklahoma through his first 2 seasons. Sean Sullivan's 1-1. Another heater. This misses away. That's 2 balls and a strike. Cotuit got 1 run on the sacrifice fly in the third, and the Harbor Hawks look to counter as Mitchell fists one out to short right, moving back into his left. Nick Gonzalez, an easy play as he puts it away on the fly for the first out of the inning.
Yeah, Mitchell, a little bit of a jam shot. Short pop up onto the shallow grass in right. No problem there for Gonzalez to range back a couple of steps and squeeze it.
So now from one Cape Cod debut to another. In steps Fox Simonis, the junior infielder from James Madison University. As Sullivan winds and fires a cut and a miss. Puts a fastball at the top of the zone. Simonis couldn't quite catch up to it, and it's 0-1. And the Cal righty opting to work quickly. Counters with another fastball. Same spot, outside corner. And it's 0-2. This one a little bit further down low, right around the belt area, but well placed. And now quickly gets the sign from the catcher. And he fans the hitter in Fox Simonis with a fastball. He swings right through it for strike 3. So right-hander Sean Sullivan really working at blazing speed here this evening. As after the quick pop out from Justin Mitchell, he fans Fox Simonis on 3 pitches. Him and Colton Kessler on the same page.
Yeah, Sullivan's got a good pace to him tonight, Lyle. Absolutely, as you mentioned, he's working very quickly, and that fastball with some late life on it to fan Simonis that time.
Now it'll be Adam Zaratsky fouling one off. Adam was 0 for 4 in Monday's contest against Cotuit. But he looks to put that in the rearview mirror and pick up his first hit of the summer against the righty Sullivan. But Sean's been cruising so far. 8 up, 8 down with 4 strikeouts. The stretch. And the 0-1 misses up high. Sullivan will kick some dirt on the top of the mound as Zaratsky points his bat directly at the pitcher, now into his stance. And the offering, cut and a miss. You mentioned it, Brendan, some late life on that fastball. Of course, Sullivan's mixed in a couple of other pitches as he has a couple in his repertoire. But he's getting ahead of hitters with that fastball, and he's just simply missing bats. Shakes his head a couple times, now nods, and comes home. Swinging a chopper over the mound and to second. Gonzalez charging, fields it glove side. Quick throw to first, and it's just in time to nab Zaratsky. So another 1-2-3 inning for the right-hander Sean Sullivan as the Harbor Hawks go down in order again. 1-0 here through 3 innings of play, and Cotuit coming up in the top of the 4th looking to add on. We'll have that for you and much more when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Top of the fourth here at McKeon Park between the Harbor Hawks and the Cotuit Cavaliers in what is Game 1 of the 2019 Patriot Cup. So far, the visiting Cavaliers have a 1-0 lead on a sacrifice fly in the previous inning from Casey Schmidt, scoring Kentucky outfielder Cam Hill from third base. Cotuit sending out the 5-6-7. That'll be left-handed hitting Colton Kessler doing the catching tonight. Into the box for his second at-bat of the evening. Abram out of the windup, first offering breaking ball inside. Kessler struck out looking back in the top of the second. It was also the second strikeout of the day for Ben Abram. The Oklahoma righty gazes over the glove and fires home out of the windup. This misses inside again. So Abram had that clean slate in the first, where he retired the top of the lineup 1-2-3. Got out of a jam and remained scoreless in the second, then gave up the sac along with a couple of free passes in the third. Next pitch, swinging a fly ball down the right field line. Mosley giving chase to his left, and he makes the catch on the run, coming toward the line. Ball just got a few feet short of the warning track, but Mosley had it in tracks of his own all the way to put the first out of the inning on the board.
Yeah, I'm not sure Kessler squared that one up just enough. Probably got it off the end of the bat a little more than he wanted to that time. That's why it didn't nail over the wall that time. Nice play from Mosley to be able to track that one down on the move and make the over-the-shoulder grab.
So now things get turned over to Oraj Anu. So he watches the first pitch fastball down. Anu, left-handed hitting, playing right field tonight, set to go to the University of Kentucky in the fall. Abram ready, and the offering. In for a strike, and the count levels. Anu, a transfer from Wallace Community College. In a monster year, they're hitting .390, 11 bombs, 60 runs batted in. Fastball from Abram paints the inner black, and he's ahead of the ball in 2 strikes. 33 extra base hits for Anu in his season at Wallace. Looking to have a strong summer on the Cape and make an impact for the Wildcats next season. Next offering, looping breaking ball that he gets a piece of to foul away. So Abram got the quick fly out to the leadoff man Kessler. But with the infield back and almost an hour into this game, he gets the sign from Justin Mitchell. Next pitch, dribbled down the first base line, foul. So Ben Abram really had his breaking balls working early. He's got both a curveball and a slider in his arsenal. Was not afraid to put hitters away with a good fastball. Stares down over the mid again. And the next pitch, down in the dirt with a changeup. Justin Mitchell keeps it in front of him. It'll be 2-2 to the hitter, Anu. Anu 2 for 8 on the season. He's already gotten a couple of starts for Cotuit here in the first few ball games. Offering, swinging a high drive, deep right center field. Back goes McIntyre. All he can do is watch it go. Solo blast for Oraj Anu in the top of the fourth. And Cotuit adds on to their lead. 2-0 Cavaliers here at McKeon Park. There was no doubt about that one. Well up into the trees and deep right center, just to the left of the light post.
Yeah, Anu absolutely got a hold of that one there to right center field. He got a fastball middle, and he did not miss it. Squared it up nicely and just drove it well into the brush out there beyond the light post, like you said, Lyle.
Helmet taps all around in the Cotuit dugout for Anu and the rest of his teammates as he puts Cotuit out in front 2-0. So now from one lefty to another, it'll be Aubrey Major. He watches the first pitch down low. But Abram said pretty crisp command up to that point. Just one pitch that got away from him, as Brendan alluded to. And now he's ready with the next offering. Swinging a high line drive down the right field line. Mosley coming over. He can't get there. It one hops the wall. Major on his horse heading to second. He'll hit the brakes right there. And just like that, back-to-back extra base hits for the Cavaliers in the top of the fourth. And Cotuit has another man in scoring position.
2 hard hit balls in a row as Abram as we mentioned earlier on, has had trouble locating that fastball, and he missed his spot a couple of times there. The home run to Anu, and now the line drive off the wall to Major, who's standing out at second base 180 feet from stretching this Cotuit lead to 3.
So Major makes it a 2-for-2 day. Halfway to the cycle, but getting the much easier half so far through with a single and a double to his name. So with a man on second, it'll bring in Mason Dodd. He's the 4th straight left-handed hitter to come to the plate this inning. And Abram working back out of the stretch. First pitch on the way. High fly ball into deep left field. Back goes Goodman. He's at the track. He's at the wall. Looks up and it's out of here. 2-run blast for Mason Dodd. And just like that, it's 4-0 Cotuit. So a high drive out to deep left from the first baseman, Dodd. Goodman looked like he had a beat on it, but it just kept taking him back, and eventually he ran out of real estate. And just like that, second home run of the inning for Cotuit. They've put themselves out 4-0 here at McKeon.
Well, that is as good as a piece of hitting as you'll see here in the Cape Cod Baseball League this summer. Mason Dodd taking a high fastball up and away opposite field for the home run that time, as Goodman, as you mentioned, Lyle, gave it a good run all the way up to the wall. Just a wall scraper that time for Dodd, as pushes the Cotuit lead out to 4 here. As you can see, Coach Gassman on the mound, and that will be it for Abram.
So Ben Abram's day concludes. Got through 3 1/3 innings, but no further. Had his stuff working well through 3, but the second time around against Cotuit, they started to jump on him a bit. It'll be Billy Corcoran, the pit right-hander, set to take over relieving duties when we return on the other side of the break. 4-0 Cotuit from Hyannis on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Back at McKeon Park in the top of the 4th, after 3 1/3 innings for Ben Abram, his day has concluded. Chad Gassman opts to bring in pit right-hander Billy Corcoran for his first appearance of the summer in Cape Cod. He's set to face number 9 hitter Grant Holman, who swings at the first pitch, chops one over to third. Coming in, the third baseman double clutches once, now twice, throws to first, and it's just in time. Fox Simonas had to come in quickly. Didn't quite get it out of his glove fast enough, but finally a strong throw over to first, and it just nabbed the hitter Holman by about half a step. So 1 pitch, 1 out for Billy Corcoran. Puts 2 outs on the board in the top of the 4th. And now Cam Hill comes up for his 3rd plate appearance of the game here in the 4th inning. Corcoran out of the windup. Long leg kick and deals. Swing and a miss. So Billy finished his freshman year out in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for the Panthers. He stands at 6'7", 190 pounds. Arm gets over the head, out of the windup, and fires home. Spikes a fastball in the dirt. Hyannis roster has a lot of big-bodied arms. You already saw Ben Abram tonight. He stands at 6'7", 264. Corcoran doesn't quite have the same build, but also 6 feet 7 inches tall. Comes home, Hill drops down to bunt. Corcoran off the mound, fields it cleanly, throws to first, and it's wide of the first baseman Carlson, getting down the right field line. Hill takes off for second. He'll stop right there, and is awarded an additional 90 feet on a successful bunt rather. Corcoran couldn't quite come up with a clean throw, and as a result, it puts a Cotuit runner 180 feet away.
That's a tough play for Corcoran to come off the mound, moving to his left or right, off the mound to corral that ball. And we mentioned with his big frame, hard for him to try and throw around that runner that time. And the throw sailed wide. Carlson had no chance to reel that one in as it rolled all the way to the fence. Now another runner in scoring position for Cotuit.
So Hyannis still just one pitch away with 2 down in the inning. The first pitch to the New Mexico State second baseman Nick Gonzalez is down and away. Gonzalez 0 for 1 with a walk, was stranded at third at the end of the third inning. Or rather, the Kettleers half of the third inning, as they were finally retired. Hill takes off on the pitch. Ball gets away from Justin Mitchell, and there's no attempted throw. So Cam Hill swipes a bag and gets down to third with ease. And Nick Gonzalez has himself now in an even further RBI opportunity with a chance to extend the Cotuit lead to 5. So Corcoran, just a wild fastball there, getting away and to the right of the catcher, Mitchell. Counts 1-0 to the hitter, Gonzalez. He deals a fastball down and away in the dirt. Cotuit had that 1 run in the third on the sac fly. Would have put up 3 here in the top of the fourth. Solo home run from Oraj Anu. A 2-run blast from Mason Dodd the opposite way. Infield back with 2 outs. 2-0 pitch from Corcoran. Or 3-0 rather, called a strike on the outside corner. Gonzalez already with a home run of his own on the year. That came last night at the Cotuit home ballpark of Lowell in their 8-7 loss to Chatham. 3-1 from Billy Corcoran, down and away, ball 4. 2 straight plate appearances, back-to-back walks for Nick Gonzalez. He reaches on a free pass for the second time in as many tries, and now there's runners on the corners for the number 3 hitter, Casey Schmidt.
It's been a bit of a rough inning location-wise for these Hyannis pitchers. As Corcoran trying to find that location on his fastball, that time just missing down and away, puts men on the corners.
So Schmidt digs in, 0 for 1 with a sacrifice fly, and has that RBI to his name. Billy out of the stretch, glove set at the belt. First pitch breaking ball, big wave and a miss. You were talking about it before the pitching change though, Brendan. Abram had really good command through the first 2 innings, especially with that fastball. I mean, he was pounding it well on both sides of the plate. But second time around through the order, started to find a lot more white and out over the middle. A couple of these Cotuit batsmen took advantage of it. Runner takes off, throw down to second from Mitchell, tag late, now hit the runner coming home, and he'll step on the plate. 5th run of the day for Cotuit. Cam Hill charges home from third on the low throw from Justin Mitchell down to second. Took advantage of the ball in the dirt. And as a result, it's 5-0 Kettleers in the top of the fourth. So good execution there from third base coach and head coach, for that matter, Mike Roberts, to send the runner from first to third. That was Gonzalez taking off for second, and then Hill charging home. Now the next offering, breaking ball down low. And often that's a play that'll work. You have runners first and third, especially with a fast guy like Hill over at third base. You send the guy from first to second. If you can bite that throw, often can send your speedy runner home. And for Cotuit and Mike Roberts, work to perfection. Next offering, high pop-up right side over toward foul territory. First baseman Brooks Carlson going back, called off by the second baseman Adam Zaratsky, and he makes the catch coming toward the line. That'll finally do it here in the top of the fourth for Cotuit, but not before 5 runs come across on a couple of home runs and a stolen base as well. Cotuit 5, Hyannis nothing. And we'll be back for the bottom of the fourth when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Hyannis sends their top of the order up to the plate in the bottom of the fourth, looking to chip away at a Cotuit lead of 5-0, thanks to a 4 spot from the visiting Kettleers just half an inning ago. Mitch McIntyre, followed by Jackson Olsen and Ian Fair, will be the first 3 to the plate here in the bottom half of this 4th inning. But Sean Sullivan has it working for Cotuit so far. First pitch to Mitch McIntyre, popped up and out of play over the press box. Hyannis just looking to get not just on the board, but somebody on base. They've been retired in order through the first 3 innings. 9 up, 9 down, and 4 strikeouts from the right-hander Sullivan. 0-1, cut and a miss. McIntyre comes up empty at a fastball at the top of the zone. It's 0-2. Mitch struck out swinging in his first at-bat to lead off the bottom of the first. Now Sullivan's ready, works quickly. 0-2, fastball runs just outside. McIntyre getting his second start of the summer for the Hyannis Harbor Hawks after seeing brief time at the end of the 2018 season. 1-2. On the inside corner, strike 3. Freezes McIntyre with a fastball pinned in. Gave home plate umpire Rick Emerson a little bit of a look as he walks slowly back to the dugout, unclips his batting glove, and just like that, there's 1 down.
Yeah, got to protect with 2. And Rick Emerson, to his judgment, thought that one was a strike. It was a high fastball from Sullivan. He's had that pitch work, and we talked about that late life earlier on in the ballgame, Lyle.
So that'll be Jackson Olsen chasing after a high fastball, getting nothing of it. That's 5 strikeouts for Sean Sullivan. So he works quickly. Next offering, fastball outside corner, strike 2. He couldn't buy a ball right now if you asked him to. He's spotting up absolutely everything. And now into the windup and deals again. Swing and a miss, strike 3. 7 pitches thrown in the inning, 6 strikes, 2 strikeouts, and 2 down in the bottom of the 4th. Make it half a dozen now for the right-hander out of Cal.
Now, this is some performance being put on by Sullivan right there. 2 straight fastballs and then a breaking ball to finish him off, that time down in the dirt. Got Olsen to go fishing after. Now Ian Fair's the last hope here in this inning.
First pitch out of the windup to Fair. Fastball on the outer half. It's 0-1. He just wastes no time either. It's got to be under 15 seconds between pitches. Here comes the next one. Breaking ball, swing and a miss.
Yeah, almost Chris Sale-like with his pace right now. Gets the ball, and he's ready to go.
The infield back. Sullivan nods. Winds and fires. 0-2. Fastball down and away. Well, Sullivan threw 3 2/3 innings. That's already longer than any of his outings in his time in his freshman year at Cal. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a dribbler, foul up the left side. In fact, longest outing he went in any of his appearances at Cal, 3 innings. And that happened just once. 1-2 again. Swing and a high pop up into foul ground right side. Coming toward the line, the right fielder Anu has a beat on it and snags it for the 3rd out of the inning. So make it 12 up, 12 down for Sean Sullivan in Cotuit through 4 innings of work. He is absolutely dealing here tonight at McKeon Park, and Hyannis puts up another 0 on the board, this time in the top of the 4th, or make that the bottom of the 4th. 5-0 Cotuit through 4 frames of play, and we'll be back for the top of the 5th. Cotuit coming to bat on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Middle of the Cotuit order due up here in the top of the fifth at McKeon Park. The Harbor Hawks find themselves trailing 5-0 in this ball game. Cameron Williams, Colton Kessler, and Oraj Anu due up in this inning against the reliever Billy Corcoran, back for his second inning of work. On the flip side, on the bump for Cotuit, Sean Sullivan has been working a very strong outing tonight, Lyle.
Absolutely. I mean, what more can you ask from the guy? 12 up, 12 down. He's already got half a dozen strikeouts.
He's been racking them up as Corcoran is looking to do the same, as a big cut and a miss there from Williams on the first pitch of the at-bat. Nice off-speed pitch on the outside corner. Corcoran stands 6'7", and very imposing figure, much similar to the starter tonight, Ben Abram, as that one dips too low into the dirt, picked by Mitchell behind the plate, 1-1. Corcoran winds and deals a 1-1. That one trailing too far off, almost on the chalk of the right-handed batter's box, 2 balls and a strike. Williams tonight, 0-for-1, bounced one to second base. Also drew a walk back in the second. 2-1 pitch, popped up out of play off to the left. That one will trail off and be a souvenir for a fan. 2-2 here on the lefty Williams from Texas. Corcoran looking for a strikeout, couldn't get it there as the curveball didn't have enough bite to it, couldn't catch the outside corner. Count swells full, 3-2. Corcoran shakes off a couple signs. Now he's got one. Kicks and delivers, fouled back into the net. Count will remain full. Taking a quick look at the road ahead for Hyannis. They play Brewster, the rescheduled game from last night, tomorrow. Then they're at Falmouth and home against Wareham on Saturday. Seeing a couple of opponents for the first time this season. Another full count offering is sent into right field. That's going to be dunked in for a base hit. So Cameron Williams finds himself aboard to begin things here in the fifth. That'll bring up the Kentucky product, Colton Kessler.
Yeah, just kind of saw that one out over the plate. That one kind of right at about the belt level. And he just shoots that one into right. Rigsby Mosley tried to fight the sun a little bit. Didn't have much of a play anyway.
So a runner aboard and nobody away here in the fifth as the Cotuit bats picking up right where they left off in the fourth inning. As they sent 8 men to the plate, 5 of them came around to score as they chased Ben Abram from this game. So Corcoran from the stretch winds and delivers a first pitch fastball as well. Behind it was Kessler on the swing. 0-1. Oraj Anu loosening up in the on-deck circle. A spin and a fire, a high throw, but corralled by Carlson over at first. Back in with a head-first dive was Williams. Sun beginning to set here at McKeon Park. Shade engulfing most of the outfield except for the right field corner down by the 3:30 mark. As this next pitch is flared foul off to the left, up onto the hill over by those bleachers painted blue. So a 2-strike count here to Colton Kessler, with the runner aboard at first in the form of Cameron Williams. He's got a modest lead over there as Corcoran taking a couple quick checks. Kicks and fires a breaking ball. That's outside 1-2. Well, if the start by Sean Sullivan for the Cavaliers wasn't enough tonight, the Babs are certainly doing more than enough to pick him up. As Hyannis still looking for their first hit. Corcoran misses with a fastball down at the shin level, 2-2. Corcoran trying to keep this a deficit of just 5 and allow Hyannis a chance to come back. A lot of baseball still to play here tonight. A pause from Corcoran, now fires the 2-strike pitch, and he runs the count full. As Kessler got a little bit ahead of himself at the plate, started to take off that elbow guard and has a quick laugh with the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson.
You know, with the scoreboard off tonight, I think he tried to sell it a little bit, maybe thinking if he could take off the elbow guard, just start to trot down to first, he'd do a nice sell job, but not quite.
And maybe tricked the umpire into thinking he missed a pitch. not to be. Corcoran will have another opportunity to set him down. Here comes the payoff pitch. Fastball, a chopper down the first baseline. Foul as a couple of Cotuit players reaching well over that dugout, almost doing a somersault onto the field of play. So Kessler from 0-2 to 3-2, fouling off a couple of tough pitches and now forcing Corcoran to work a bit here in the fifth with one on and nobody away. He'll take a quick step off to regather himself as the runner Williams retreats back to the bag. Corcoran set the payoff pitch again. And in there, strike three, ring him up at the knees with a fastball. Kessler a bit unhappy with that call as he takes a slow strut back to the dugout. 1 on, 1 out now for Hyannis.
I think Kessler thought that was a little bit low. A nice frame job by Justin Mitchell. Ball right at the bottom of the zone, and he spotted it up.
Well, here is Hyannis up for his third plate appearance of the evening. 1 for 2, had that solo blast back in the fourth inning, an absolute moonshot as he waves and misses with a one-handed swing at a slow off-speed breaking pitch on the outside half. Corcoran set, fires the 0-1, another fastball that just misses, couldn't paint the outside black. And the count draws even at 1-1. Tall right-hander set the 1-1 pitch. Another breaking ball. Tried to go outside corner again with it. Could not pick it up. 2-1. Williams off of first. Corcoran slowing down his pace a bit. Now kicks and fires. Another fastball. A chopper back to him. Off the mound. Goes to second. Nobody was covering. As Zaratsky was going to back up the base. As was not expecting Corcoran to turn and fire to second, was expected to get the out at first, could not, and the lead runner is safe. And Hyannis was aboard at first. So a mental error there from Corcoran, and it's 2 on, 1 out now for Mason Dodd.
Oh, just tough there from Zaratsky. Couldn't quite get over to the bag in time to cover. Like you said, thought he was supposed to be behind the bag. And Corcoran had to make a quick throw. Didn't have time to look and think about it. It'll be a fielder's choice as a result.
So a couple runners on, one in scoring position as a quick wave and a miss from Aubrey Major. Center fielder from Xavier. Set himself quite a night out of the 7-hole in the Kettleers lineup. 2 for 2, a single and a double halfway to the cycle, and also came around to score. Another wave and a miss over the top of a changeup that kind of fell off the table that time. Cameron Williams off of second. Hyannis reaching on the fielder's choice over at first. A couple of modest leads for the runners as this one is fouled away off to the left. So no balls and 2 strikes here to Major. Trying to make it a 3 for 3 ball game here in just the 5th inning. 2-strike pitch, a fastball spiked into the dirt, gets behind Mitchell, and both runners are going to advance. Taking a turn around third is Williams, but he will pull up there. So now 2 runners in scoring position and 1 away, and more trouble perhaps brewing for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, there's been a couple wild pitches tonight. Abram had 1 or 2 of his own, now one there from Corcoran. And you just can't allow yourself to construct innings for other teams and just kind of give away free bases like that. It comes back to bite you.
So Cotuit once again threatening here in the 5th as Corcoran trying to work out of a jam. This one is sent down the left field line. That's falling fast, and it's going to fall in for a hit. It's going to roll all the way to the wall. Going to scoop it up is Goodman as both runners are going to come in to score. Being waved around third, headed to the plate. The throw is not going to be in time as Hyannis crosses the plate. Make it a 7-0 Cotuit Kettleers lead, an RBI double by Aubrey Major.
And Major just ropes one down the left field line. Had some loft to it, but it sent the left fielder Goodman on his horse pretty quickly. Dropped in not much of a better spot. Right to the right of the line, right into the corner. Both runs scoring with no problem. And Cotuit just kind of piling it on here in these last couple of innings.
Not sure if Major could have placed that one any better down the line than he did. Finds himself in scoring position, still just 1 out in the inning. As the new hitter now at the plate, Mason Dodd watches the pitch go by on the outside corner, but rule the ball. 7-0 Cotuit with the edge. They pushed at least one run across in the last 3 frames. As this one is ripped into right field, that's going to fall in front of Mosley and trickle toward him for a base hit. Stopping over at third base is Major, and it's going to be men on the corners with 1 away now for Grant Hallman. So the hits just keep piling up for Cotuit here in this inning. They sent 8 men to the plate in the 4th, and this will be the 6th man to hit here in the 5th. Hallman finds himself 0 for 2, trying to join the hit parade that the Kettlers have been putting on tonight. As Hallman now retreating back to the dugout. Perhaps maybe for a new bat.
And it looks like,
or even a pinch hitter.
I was going to say, I think Mike Roberts is going to make a change.
Looks to be number 10, Cody Pasick. The 6-foot catcher out of Maine.
How about this? Cody Pasick, a kid right here from the island of Cape Cod, hails from the town of Cotuit. Playing here for the Kettleers tonight. So getting a chance to pinch hit now for Grant Hallman, who's been subbed out of the game. And an opportunity to add on for the Kettleers in the 5th.
So the Cape Cod product getting his first plate appearance of the evening, pinch hitting for Hallman, as we mentioned. Getting a chance to face Pitt Panther Billy Corcoran on the mound with men on the corners. An RBI spot for him right off the bat. 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss at a fastball. Had that one about belt high on the outside corner, 1-1. Time is called as a ball has been thrown back into the field of play. Going to scoop that one up is Justin Mitchell and tosses it back over to his home dugout of Hyannis. And now it is being sent back over to the Cotuit dugout like a hot potato, and it's lying in foul territory. Bat boy will come out and retrieve that, and we are set to go again. 1-1 count here on Pasick. Corcoran sets and fires a foul tip trickler off to the right behind home plate. Pasick, a senior at UMaine, trying to make his presence felt here at McKeon Park. Already a 7-0 lead for Cotuit, a runner in scoring position, a chance to make it 8. Aubrey Major standing just 90 feet. Billy Corcoran trying to work out of this jam. There's just 1 out in the inning, however, as that one tails too far off to the left, as sliding across to make the play is Mitchell. Corcoran sets and fires again. A chopper that's going to get through into left field, a base hit. An RBI right off the bat for Cody Pasick and a pinch hit appearance. It's first and second, 1 out now, back to the top of the order for Cameron Hill. A nice piece of hitting to go the other way there for the RBI.
And Cotuit just continuing the hit parade here. That's 3 straight in the inning, 4 total. And just a C&I single there on the left side. Just splits the defenders. Olsen at short and Simonis at third, skipping into left field. Kettleers just piling it on here in the 4th and 5th innings.
So going from bad to worse here for the Harbor Hawks tonight at McKeon Park. Billy Corcoran's been forced to throw a lot of pitches in this inning. A squaring around a bunt there was Cameron Hill, but pulling back as that one skipped into the dirt. Hill has found himself aboard twice in this game, as so many of the Kettleers have tonight. Dancing out at second base there is Dodd, trying to draw the attention of Corcoran, and he does. So much so that Billy takes a quick step off the mound. 3 runs already have been pushed across here in this frame. As Corcoran fires a chopper towards second base, a slow roller for Zaratsky. He's going to go the short way to second for 1 and no return throw to first. So it'll be men on the corners again with 2 outs.
And a good turn and transfer from Zaratsky. Didn't have a whole lot of momentum going towards second base, having to come in a little bit to charge on it. Fielded it right at about the lip of the grass. And then had to turn to his right to make a quick snap throw short way to shortstop. But a successful one, and gets the runner at second to put an out on the board.
So here is Nick Gonzalez. Has not seen many pitches he's liked tonight. He's drawn a couple of walks, but he's shown some nice patience at the plate nonetheless. As Corcoran pumps in a fastball on the inside corner for strike 1. Second baseman down in New Mexico State. Trying to bring home yet another run. It would be the 4th of the inning for Cotuit if he can find some grass in the outfield. Runner goes for second as that one is swung on and tapped foul off to the left. Hitting the netting, protecting that Hyannis dugout. So a 2-strike count for Gonzalez. And Corcoran now finds himself just 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning. It's been a long, taxing inning for Corcoran on the mound. Thrown a lot of pitches, faced a lot of batters. Trying to escape the jam here against Gonzalez. The pitch, that one down by the ankles. Couldn't pick up the bottom of the zone that time, 1-2.
Corcoran trying to kind of pin him inside a little bit, hoping maybe Gonzalez will just fist one off the handle of the bat, but you got to be careful.
Runner takes off for second again. A slow breaking ball is grounded foul off to the left now by Gonzalez. Trying to hang tough with 2 strikes here against the 6'7" right-hander Corcoran. Couple of half practice swings for Gonzalez as he steps back in. Corcoran's ready. Set at the belt now. We'll take a quick step off as both runners are forced to retreat. Cotuit runners in this inning have done a nice job of getting in the head of Corcoran, forcing him to make a couple of throwovers and step-offs. And now another fire over to first as back in diving is Cameron Hill. So Nick Gonzalez still awaiting the 1-2 offering from Corcoran. As now he's ready, kicks and fires. Runner takes off for second. That one is going to be picked up by Simonas on the run. Fire over across the diamond to first in time to retire the side. As for the second consecutive inning, 8 Kettleers were sent to the plate. 3 of them score. And that pushes the Cotuit lead out to 8-0 with the Hyannis bats coming to the plate trying to get something going here when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Middle of the Hyannis order due up here in the bottom half of the fifth inning. It's Hunter Goodman, Rigsby Mosley, and Brooks Carlson trying to crack the code of the starter, Sean Sullivan, who has been absolutely cruising along here in this game so far at McKeon Park. It's been 12 up, 12 down for the Harbor Hawks. Hunter Goodman trying to break that stretch. 0 for 1 with a strikeout back in the second inning. Sullivan's featured a heavy fastball with late life, some great breaking balls as that one misses down in the dirt. 1-0 to Goodman. University of Memphis product playing left field tonight for Coach Gassman and the Harbor Hawks. Sullivan fires the 1-0, and that one is into left field. A base hit, the first of the night for the Harbor Hawks, and Hunter Goodman is aboard. As finally they are able to get to Sullivan and sliding into second base, and he is safe there. That one trickling down the line toward Hill, had some trouble getting it. And some good aggressiveness being shown by Goodman on the base pass to start off the inning for the Harbor Hawks.
Yeah, that ball wasn't moving too quickly. When it got to the outfield grass, it slowed down and died a little bit, so it gave Goodman a chance to take off for second. Opted to be aggressive and use his speed to his advantage a little bit, sliding in safely. Finally, like you talked about, Brendan, Hyannis has a runner on the base paths.
And time is called as the infield is going to come in, and that will probably be it for Sullivan, as there is some action down there in the Cotuit bullpen. And it looks like we have a left-hander coming on. It will be a pitching change here at McKeon Park. So we're going to take a quick break here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 8-0 Cotuit leading here in the bottom of the fifth. Back here at McKeon Park, off the pitching change, it's the southpaw from Boston College on the mound, number 51, Joey Walsh. Made 29 appearances this season for the Eagles. Went 5-6 with a 6.35 ERA. Had 2 saves as well. He went 56 and 2/3 innings. Gave up 66 hits in the process while allowing 40 earned runs. As Rigsby Mosley digging in from the left side, set to greet him. He pops one up on the infield to the left side. Under it is Schmidt. He makes the catch. Runner Goodman holds at second base. 1-on-1 out now for Brooks Carlson. So a good start out of the bullpen for Walsh. One pitch and one out as Hunter Goodman, who started the inning and breaking up the Sean Sullivan no-hitter, stands at second base. Now the right-handed hitting Brooks Carlson from Sanford set to dig in, trying to bring home the first Hyannis Harborhawks run of the evening as he watches the strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Walsh, couple of checks on the runner at second, fires in another fastball that misses up and away. So 1-1 strike here on Carlson as Walsh pauses, now fires a fastball. That one cracked in the air to center field, sending Major back toward the wall, and he will make the catch on the run. Tagging and heading to third is Hunter Goodman as the throw comes back in. So Carlson got a good piece of wood on that one, enough to advance Goodman up to third, but he is retired now. 2 away for Justin Mitchell.
Yeah, productive out like you talked about. And Carlson gave it a ride, just squared it up, sending it out to deep center, the deepest part of the ballpark. And couldn't quite come up with a hit in the box score, but those hits are going to start to come for Carlson. I mean, he was such a good hitter in his time at Sanford. He hit the ball all around the yard, led the team in so many offensive categories that, yes, it takes some adjusting up here in the Cape. It takes some guys a little longer than others. For him, who knows? It's just a matter of father time to wait and see, but those hits are going to come. I mean, he's got too good of a bat to not start swinging it.
So that gives way to the Oklahoma catcher, Justin Mitchell, who had a soft liner to second base in his first plate appearance, as that one is spiked to the plate, knocked down by Kessler to keep Goodman at third. Harborhawks trying to push across their first run of the ball game tonight. They trail at 8-0 here in the bottom of the fifth. Hunter Goodman breaking up the Sean Sullivan no-hitter earlier on in this frame. As Justin Mitchell trying to follow suit. A pause from Walsh, now fires a breaking ball. Tried to sneak one down on the inside corner as Mitchell had to sneak that back foot out of the way. Sporting those Oklahoma red cleats. Another fastball pumped in on the outside corner. Mitchell watches it go by for strike 2. Another fastball taken up high. Couldn't pick up the top of the zone. It was just above the letters of Mitchell that time. Make it 3-1, excuse me. Should the inning continue, it'll be Fox Simonis from James Madison who awaits on deck, the 3-1. That's in there. That runs the count full. So Walsh featuring the fastball a lot in this at-bat here to Mitchell. Perhaps trying to set him up for a breaking ball with this next pitch. Here it comes. Another fastball into the dirt, and that will result in a walk for Mitchell. So they'll be on the corners with 2 away now for Fox Simonis.
Yeah, Mitchell worked a good at-bat there. Not getting over anxious with anything, not chasing after anything in the dirt, just worked the count, draws a walk, and extends the inning.
So the Hyannis bat starting to come around a little bit. Hunter Goodman with the double, as I mentioned earlier on in the inning, and now Mitchell with the walk, showing some good patience. Fox 0 for 1 in the game with the strikeout, but an RBI opportunity here with 2 away in the inning. First pitch swinging as he sends that one up and out of play off to the right. Simonis started and played all 56 games in his college season as a broken bat shot, and it is going to be caught by the shortstop Williams as he retreats onto the short left outfield grass, and that will retire the side. But the Harborhawks get their first hit on the board, but can't push across any runs. Just 1 hit in the inning, and they will be set down, still trailing 8-0 here when we come back at 2. Coming to the plate on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. 3, 4, and 5 due up for the Cotuit Kettleers here in the top of the 6th. Casey Schmidt making his way to the plate, digging into that right-handed batter's box. Billy Corcoran back on the mound, his 3rd inning of relief. 8-0, the Cotuit Kettleers out in front. Top half of the 6th inning, this ball game moving along as Corcoran working from the windup, kicks and fires this one in the air to left center. Moving over slightly is Goodman. He'll make the catch. 1 gone now for Cameron Williams. Schmidt got a good piece of that one, gave it a ride out to left. Just not deep enough as Goodman was able to make a nice, easy play. Corcoran in search of a much cleaner inning here in the 6th. 8 batters have come to the plate in each of the last 2 frames that the Kettleers have been at the plate. First pitch breaking ball tails off too far to the left. And scooping that one up is Mitchell. 1 ball and no strikes to the new hitter Williams, the new Texas University transfer. Fastball into the dirt again, blocked by Mitchell. 2 balls, no strikes. Williams has found himself aboard twice. A walk and a single also came around to score as brushing him off the plate there with a high fastball was Corcoran. 2 balls and no strikes. Williams did not play at all in his season at Dallas Baptist in 2019. Takes a look at a strike on the inner half of the plate. Make it 3-1. Colton Kessler on deck. Corcoran, glove over the head, kicks and fires, swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. Good job keeping him off balance on that one. Runs the count full 3-2 on the Cotuit shortstop. Here comes the payoff pitch. That's in there, strike 3, a fastball, and Williams knew it. Turns and will head back to the dugout. 2 gone now. Here comes Colton Kessler. Definitely just what the doctor ordered for Corcoran in his 3rd inning of relief out of the bullpen. After a taxing 5th inning, coming out and getting 2 quick outs in the 6th. So Colton Kessler, the new hitter at the plate, batting from the left side, takes a look at a first pitch breaking ball that missed off the outer edge of the plate. Swinging a foul tip off the dish as Mitchell will retrieve that one. Kessler kicking some dirt around in that left-handed batter's box. He'll adjust the helmet and step back in. Was named to the SEC first-year honor roll at Kentucky, also in the Texas Collegiate Home Run Derby. That one is spiked into the dirt again. A breaking ball tried to be snapped off there by Corcoran. Couldn't get it to tail back over the outer edge. 2 balls and a strike to the Kentucky catcher. Corcoran ready, kick, fires. Just missing down and away that time. Corcoran a bit of a stare back at the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson, wondering where that one missed. So instead of 2-2, it's 3-1 in favor of Kessler at the dish. Out of the windup, Corcoran again, as that one is ripped down the right field line. That's going to be dunked in front of Mosley. It's going to roll all the way to the track. A wide turn and pulling up wisely as Kessler as the throw came back into Zaratsky. And it's going to be 1 on with 2 away now for Arajanu. Cotuit has had the bats working tonight. That is their 11th hit of the ball game. They pushed a run across in each of the last 3 frames, 1 in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, and 3 in the 5th. Corcoran trying to make sure they don't get any more here in the 6th as the first pitch fastball to Anu misses down and away, 1-0. Billy's ready, kicks and fires another 1-0 breaking ball. That one misses wide, 2-0. Anu has already gotten the best of the Harbor Hawks here in this one so far. A home run back in the 4th, as well as another single in the 5th. Came around to score on that. 2-0 fastball popped up in the air. Drifting back onto the shallow left center grass is the shortstop Olson, and he will make the catch. As the glove tailed back over his shoulder, and that will end the inning. So no runs, one hit for Cotuit in the inning. No threats after that. 8-0. They still lead as we head to the bottom of the sixth. Harbor Hawks coming back to the plate here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom of the sixth inning here from McKeon Park. Harbor Hawks has fallen behind in this one 8-0. Trying to get the bats going and claw back into this one with 4 trips to the plate, including this half inning left. Adam Zaratsky out of Judson University set to lead things off for Hyannis here in this half of the sixth. 0 for 1 tonight, bounced one to second base to Gonzalez. As Joey Walsh, the reliever, back on the hill as he fires on a first pitch fastball that misses down and away for a ball 1. Slice down the first baseline, foul on the 1-0 fastball. Zaratsky, an inside-out swing there, evens the count 1-1. Top of the order set to be due up after Zaratsky with Mitch McIntyre and Jackson Olson. Walsh is set, fires the pitch, and that one is swung on and fouled up and out of play. Kessler popped up from the crouch, thought he might have a play on that one, but to no avail. So the 1-2 pitch there, a breaking ball to Zaratsky, trying to entice him to swing out of the zone, could not. Evens up the count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zaratsky went 0 for 4 in his Cape League debut as that one is dropped in for a strike on the outside corner. Not happy with it as Zaratsky as he takes a walk back to the dugout. He's set down on strikes for the first out of the 6th. There comes Mitch McIntyre. So that strikeout not helping the Harbor Hawks cause to try and rally in this ball game. Here comes Mitch McIntyre 0 for 2 with a couple Ks. 1 in the first and 1 in the 4th. Lefty-lefty matchup, wave and a miss at a downstairs breaking ball, 0-1. Mitch went 2 for 4 back on Monday in the loss to Chatham, also scored a couple of runs. Both his Cape League hits have been extra base hits as that fastball misses in the dirt. A pause from Walsh, the 1-1 pitch on the way, a breaking ball on the outside half, dropped in for a strike. They get 1-2 to the BYU product McIntyre. In high school, Mitch was first team All-State, batted .443 with an ERA of 1.11, a two-way player back in high school. Also a dual sport athlete playing quarterback. 1-2 from Walsh, swing and a miss A drop third strike behind the plate. Up to get it as Kessler fires on to first in time to get him. And there's 2 gone now. That'll bring up the Hartford product, Jackson Olsen. So a quick 2 up, 2 down here in the bottom of the 6th for Walsh, who's been making quick work of the Harbor Hawks. Only base runner he has allowed so far was the walk to Justin Mitchell back in the 5th. Coming in, relieving the duties of starter Sean Sullivan, who won a very strong 4+. Breaking ball missing down and away. Picked by Kessler behind the dish. 2 balls and no strikes here to the Harbor Hawks shortstop Olsen. Also 0 for 2 on the evening. A fly out to center and a strikeout. The 2-0 fastball get me over pitch that time to bring the count to 2-1. Should Olsen find a way to reach, it'll be Ian Fair, as this one has popped up on the infield. Ranging in to get it is Gonzalez. Makes the catch, and that will end the inning. So once again, the Harbor Hawks going 1-2-3. Still trailing this one 8-0. The Cotuit Bats trying to get going again when they come back in the top of the 7th here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. So Billy Corcoran's day on the mound is done, and it's TJ Stewart, the right-hander, taking over for his duties out of Manhattan College. His junior season went 8-5, 86 innings pitched, gave up 76 hits with 39 earned runs and 40 walks in the process, striking out 86 as well, so averaging 1 an inning. He'll be greeted by the bottom third of this Cotuit Kettleers order, Albury Major, Mason Dodd, and Cody Pasick. First pitch fastball tailing up and away to Albury Major. Center fielder from Xavier. Stewart again, another breaking ball. A called strike at the knees. Major turning around to the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson, to make sure that call stood. Stewart kicks and fires again, misses outside with another off-speed pitch. 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1 popped up in the air, drifting back onto the shallow grasses. Zaratsky converging with Olsen, and it will be Olsen to call everyone off and make the play as he flips it to Zaratsky after making the catch. 1 gone now for Mason Dodd.
Oh, nice job from Stewart there. Just induces some soft contact. Inside fastball jams Major off the handle of the bat. Just pops it straight up. 1 down.
So here is Mason Dodd, who has gone yard in this game tonight. A home run back in the 4th inning, driving in a couple of Cotuit Kettleer runs tonight. 2 of the 8 they have put up on the board. Stewart kicks it and fires. First pitch called strike at the knees. Overall on the night for Dodd, 2 for 3. Grounded into a fielder's choice in the 2nd inning as well. TJ Stewart out of Manhattan went 6-2 with a school record 10 saves as he fires in a fastball that skips under the legs of Mitchell. While at school, Stewart also limiting opposing hitters to a MAAC low 178 average. There's a wave and miss on a slow curveball dropped in for a strike about thigh high. Stewart from the windup again, kicks and fires as that one is trickled down the first baseline. Nearly a barehanded play made by the first base coach. And Stewart, if you watch him coming out of the windup, hides the ball behind the back leg, not the conventional windup we usually see from right-handed pitchers. Trying to be a bit deceptive toward these Cotuit hitters. 2-strike offering, swing and a miss. It's behind Mitchell, can't find it. Now he does. Corrals and fires on to Carlson at first, in time to retire Dodd. So a quick 2 up, 2 down here in the top of the 7th. Here comes Cody Pasek.
Nice job from Stewart just to get the strikeout there, and Mitchell scrambling for a second to find it. Got between the umpire's wickets over at home plate and Rick Emerson, but does a nice job picking it up, making a good outside throw to his first baseman Carlson, and like that, 2 down.
And here comes the left-handed hitter Cody Pasek. Lyle, as you mentioned, a Cotuit native.
Yeah, Cotuit native, getting a chance with his hometown Kettleers, so pretty cool for him to get an opportunity. He made the most of it in his first at-bat, just punching a single through the left side.
Takes a look at a fastball low into the dirt, evens up the count 1-1. Batting here against TJ Stewart. First time saw him was against Billy Corcoran. So still the beneficial righty-lefty matchup for the hitter Pasek as he watches that one go by up and away for a ball 2-1. Stewart a pause, now fires the 2-1 as that one is flared foul up and over everything off into the parking lot. So Pasek trying to keep this inning going for the Kettleers here in the top of the 7th and extend it for Cameron Hill, who awaits on deck. Stewart trying to make sure that doesn't happen. The 2-strike pitch, a breaking ball dipping into the dirt, but a called strike 3 as picking it up off the ground was Mitchell that time, and Pasek can't believe it. A slow walk back to the dugout after a couple of words for the home plate umpire Rick Emerson, but back-to-back strikeouts ends the inning for TJ Stewart. Still 8-0 Kettleers, bottom of the 7th coming up here on the Cape Cod Baseball Network.
Moments away from the bottom half of the 7th getting underway here at McKeon Park. And through 6.5 frames, it's still the Kettleers 8 and the Harbor Hawks nothing. Hyannis looking to chip away at their lead. Due up for the plate, the 3-4-5 of Ian Fair, Hunter Goodman, and Rigsby Mosley. But Mike Roberts and the Kettleers turn to a new arm on the mound. And it'll be the right-hander from Purdue, Bo Hofstra, taking over for the Cotuit Ball Club as he continues to warm with his catcher, Kessler. Hofstra, a 6'5", 235-pound sophomore from Schererville, Indiana, went to Ileana Christian High School. Throw down to second is executed by Kessler, and the inning is set to get underway. Ian Fair will come to the plate. Take 3 practice swings out on the infield grass, just about 10 feet away from the batter's box, and makes his way in. And the lengthy righty kicks and fires the first pitch, fastball down low. Ian Fair today 0 for 2, grounded out to third in his first at-bat in the first, then flew out to right in the fourth. But the Northeastern product looking to get on the board here. Now the next offering, swinging a high pop up into shallow center, going back Williams, coming in the center fielder Major, and it drops in between all of them. Between first and second's Fair, he hits the brakes, retreats to first, the throw back is not in time, and the first baseman Dodd runs into the umpire Doug Isham. So a fisted single from Ian Fair to lead off the bottom of the 7th, puts Hyannis with a runner on base, and it'll bring up the number 4 hitter Hunter Goodman.
Yeah, off the bat, that one appeared to be an easy pop-up to the shallow outfield, but nobody called it, and Williams, Gonzalez, and Major all converged. Nobody could make the play on it, and a wild sequence as Fair rounded first base rather aggressively, and then on the return throw, Dodd almost nails the first base umpire.
Now it's Goodman who takes a first pitch curveball for a strike. Hunter with now one of the only 2 Hyannis hits today, as he doubled in his last at-bat as he swings and pops one long foul down the right field line, gets over the Cotuit bullpen and out of play into the trees. So that Texas League single from Ian Fair, second hit of the evening for the Hyannis Ball Club. But Goodman look at on here in the 7th. Next pitch out of the stretch from Bo Hofstra, swinging a foul up and out of play. Goodman will adjust one batting glove outside the box, grips the bat tightly, and flips it out toward the mound. Sun is almost completely set here on McKeon Park. And now the offering. Fastball spiked in the dirt, kicks way away from the catcher Kessler, over toward the Hyannis Hyannis on deck circle, and moving down to second is Ian Fair. So a wild pitch from Hofstra puts a Hyannis runner in scoring position, just the second one tonight. Hofstra will get the baseball, make a slow strut back toward the mound, kick some dirt. Bo Hofstra, 3rd team All Big Ten this past season. Put together a quality year with a 1.62 ERA in 24 appearances. So a vital piece out of the Boilermakers bullpen in 2019. Now works from the stretch. Pitch to Goodman. High fly ball. Left center field. Back into his right is the center fielder Major. He makes the catch for the second out. The first out. Retreating back to second, that is, will be Ian Fair. And with one down, in comes Rigsby Mosley, the Troy right fielder. So Mosley also 0 for 2 today. A backwards K as he struck out looking in the second. Also popped out to third base. Spotty crowd here at Hyannis tonight. Cotuit had their faithful make the travel over for the Patriot Cup as the pitch to the hitter Rigsby Mosley misses down. But today marks game 1 of 6 of the 2019 Patriot Cup between the Kettleers and the Harbor Hawks, 2 ever so fierce rivals here on the elbow of Massachusetts. The stretch, Andy deals. Inside fastball, jackknives him. It'll be 2 balls and no strikes. So the Patriot Cup, again, the yearly rivalry between the Harbor Hawks and the Cotuit Cavaliers. As Hofstra's ready, takes a breath from the stretch, and the pitch to Mosley, swinging a ground ball to short. To his left is the shortstop Williams, throws to first after a couple shuffles, and it's in time to retire the hitter Mosley. So that makes it 2 down. Advancing to third on the play is Ian Fair. So rather productive out, but now 2 down for Brooks Carlson.
Yeah, like you said, Lyle, a productive out. If you're not going to get on base yourself, the least you can do is move the runner over, and that's what he did. Fair now standing 90 feet away from the first run of the game for the Harbor Hawks.
So Fair gets his lead at third. The right-handed hitting Carlson staring down Hofstra, who drops in a breaking ball for strike 1. But back to the Patriot Cup. An actual trophy is presented at the end of each year for the winner. Last year, in favor of the Cavaliers, 4 games to 2. Carlson watches a fastball run way outside, takes the catcher Kessler out of his crouch. So 1 ball and 1 strike. One from Hofstra, big hack and a miss. Carlson went after that one, but swings just underneath it, and it's 1-2. So 4-2 series win in favor of Cotuit last year. They clinched the cup at Lowell Park back in July of last summer. Now the 1-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Bo Hofstra sets down the Harbor Hawks lineup after a leadoff single from Ian Fair. Nothing going after that. 8-0 Cotuit through 7 innings of play here at McKeon Park. And we'll go to the top of the 8th on the other side of the break when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We'll go to the top of the 8th here at McKeon Park between the Hyannis Harbor Hawks and the Cotuit Cavaliers. Mike Roberts' ball club has been all over the hometown Hawks so far tonight. 8-0 through 7 innings of play. And with that, Chad Gassman opts to make another move to the bullpen. It'll be the right-hander Sam Thorson out of Minnesota, making his first appearance of the year as he winds and fires the first pitch. Fastball down and away. Cam Hill, the Kentucky outfielder, bats for the 5th time tonight. Set in the leadoff spot for the Cotuit lineup. And the 1-0. Down low, 2 balls and no strikes to the leadoff man. Thorson just finished his sophomore year at Minnesota, where the team went 29-27, finished 5th in the Big Ten. Counters with another heater. This one misses outside, and he gets behind at 3 balls and no strikes. Thorson quickly steps off the mound. Now back into the windup as he fires. 3-0 heater right down central. Keeps the at-bat alive as Cam Hill steps out of the box, now quickly back in, and he's into his stance with the bat wiggling just above his left shoulder. Thorson gets the sign. 3-1, fastball upstairs. 5-pitch walk to the leadoff man Hill, who reaches for the 3rd time tonight, and he's aboard to begin the top of the 8th. So Thorson getting his first chance here with Hyannis and on Cape Cod. 3-pitch guy, fastball that'll sit in the high 80s to low 90s. Complements that with a changeup and a curveball. And now digging in, the number 2 hitter, Nick Gonzalez. Also his 5th time to the plate tonight. He's got a man on board again. It's Hill at first. Sam Thorson out of the stretch, peeks at the runner at first, now comes home. Inside fastball, just a little 2 in, and it'll be 1-0. Gonzalez tonight 0 for 2 with a pair of walks. In those 2nd and 3rd at-bats, he really didn't get a whole lot to see, and well, why would he? Nick Gonzalez this past year led all of college baseball in batting average. Thorson gets the sign from his catcher, Mitchell. Pitch in. Fastball right at the bottom of the zone for a called strike. But Nick Gonzalez, who for most of the season, his average sat above 500, still managed to lead the nation in batting. 432 to end the year. And once again, the top hitter in all of college baseball. 1-1 from Sam Thorson. Curveball misses up high. Couldn't entice Nick Gonzalez, and it's 2-1. But you name it. Adley Rushman finished 4th. Cody Hosa, 1st-round pick, 20th. Andrew Vaughn, the number 3 pick, 21. None of them ahead of the man at the plate right now, Gonzalez. Far on the Cape, he's already gotten off to a bang. In fact, he homered in last night's contest against the Chatham Anglers. Thorson a long pause, set at the belt, and now steps off the mound. But Gonzalez, after a very short stint with Cotuit last summer, in fact, he played just under a couple handfuls of games, set to try to make an impact for more of a longevity here in 2019. Hill gets his lead at first, about 3 steps. Carlson holding him on. A gaping hole on the right side with the second baseman Zaratsky up the middle. That offering hits Gonzalez right on the jersey, and he'll flip the bat toward first base and take first. Hill moves up to second, and Gonzalez has reached on a free pass for the 3rd time tonight. 2 walks, a hit by pitch, and it'll bring up Casey Schmidt with 2 on and nobody down. So the rest of the infield straight up, with the exception of Zaratsky playing up toward the middle in the event of a double play. Olsen now shifted a bit to his left and up the middle as well. Thorson's first pitch, a fastball paints the inner half, and it's strike 1. So Sun almost completely set. Cotuit still trying to pile it on here at McKeon Park. They lead 8-0 in the top of the 8th frame. Next pitch, curveball from Thorson, drops at the knees, and it'll be strike 2. 0-2 the count to Casey Schmidt, who today 0 for 3 with a sacrifice fly. Popped out and flew out in his last 2 at-bats. Flew out to left in the 6th, popped out to second in the 4th. Thorson checks the runner at second, no hold. Now comes home. Breaking ball chopped foul toward the Hyannis dugout on the left side. Alluded to it a little bit earlier, but Casey Schmidt garnering some high honors in his season at San Diego State in 2018. Mentioned the All-American. He was the first Aztec from San Diego State to gain that honor since some guy named Steven Strasburg. As Thorson, giving a courtesy look again, comes home. Swing and a miss in the dirt, strike 3. Runners take off on a ball that kicks toward the left side. Mitchell couldn't smother it, but with first base occupied, Schmidt's out anyway. As a result, moving up to third, Cam Hill, to second, Nick Gonzalez, and the Cavaliers have 2 runners in scoring position with now 1 down. So Thorson records his first strikeout of his Cape Cod career, and 1 down in the inning. Cameron Williams, the shortstop, set to head to Texas in the fall, digs into the left side. The first pitch curveball's in the dirt, skips through the wickets of Justin Mitchell, but not too far, right at the feet of home plate umpire Rick Emerson. But back to Schmidt for a second, who struck out swinging. Strasburg, the last guy from San Diego State to receive an All-American honor, aside from him. And Strasburg, of course, the #1 pick in the 2009 draft, as Thorson spikes one in the dirt, just in front of the catcher Mitchell. He's gone on to have a pretty lucrative career in the big leagues. Strasburg, at times the ace, more often the #2 for the Washington Nationals behind Max Scherzer. But Schmidt himself put up some video game-like numbers at San Diego State here in 2019. Sam Thorson, the Hyannis righty, still working out of the stretch. Comes home, but time is quickly called and Williams will step out. So Schmidt obviously has the ability to swing the bat, with the .315 clip and 36 RBIs in 2019. But he's more dangerous from what he can do on the mound. Pitch from Thorson. Fastball down low. Couldn't entice the hitter Williams. Count will move to 3 balls and no strikes. But not kidding, Casey Schmidt in 2019, an .028 ERA at San Diego State. .028. 3-0 in the dirt, ball 4. Skips away from Mitchell just slightly, but no advancement from either of the runners. And with first base open, Cameron Williams draws a free pass to load the bases for the #5 hitter Colton Kessler. So Thorson, slight command issues here in his first inning on the Cape. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. Struck out Casey Schmidt for the lone out so far in the 8th. But now Kessler, the hitter, with the bags packed. So the righty Thorson moves back to the windup, working from the first base side. Rocks and fires. First pitch way outside, takes Mitchell out of his crouch, but snags it before it can get to the backstop. So to wrap up on Casey Schmidt, we'll see what he has in store in Cape Cod this summer, whether it be from the offensive or pitching side of the baseball. As Thorson drops in a breaking ball for a called strike, because clearly he has the ability to do both. And will those video game numbers on the mound translate to the Cape? Maybe not quite in the .028 fashion, but he has the ability in him to throw some quality starts. Popped foul by the hitter Kessler on the next offering from Thorson, moves the count to a ball and 2 strikes. So 8-0 Cotuit in the 8th. Cameron Hill, the runner, at third. Gonzalez at second. Williams at first. The go for Thorson. Shook his head once, now he's going to step off the mound. Mike Roberts exchanges a couple of words with the home plate umpire, Emerson. Might have been asking for a balk, but Emerson said no, sir. Thorson back on the mound. Kicks and fires. On the inside corner, strike 3. Bends a breaking ball on the inner half to freeze the hitter Kessler, as Thorson's recorded his 2nd strikeout of the inning. 2 down with the bases loaded. And now Oraj Anu, who's had himself quite a lucrative day, will dig in from the left side, looking to extend the lead. Thorson's first offering, another curveball, drops in for a strike. Anu hit a mammoth home run to open up the floodgates in the top of the 4th. Thorson's fastball misses way upstairs, and the count will level at a ball and a strike. That ball way out into the trees at McKeon Park in right center. Just to the left of the second light pole from right to left here at the ballpark. As Anu swings over the top of another curveball, and he's behind 1-2. Other than that, Anu hitless. Strikeout, pop out, and reached on a fielder's choice. Pitch from Thorson. Lined foul down the third base line. So Thorson, who missed most of the month of May due to injury, looking to build up his durability again here on Cape Cod and get out of this jam here in the inning. Jam shot there from the hitter Anu into short right center. Zaratsky back on it, and he can't make the play over his head. One run scores. In comes Gonzalez from second. He steps on the plate as the throw is cut off. And a jam shot single from Oraj Anu makes it a double-digit lead for Cotuit here at the top of the 8th. So a little broken bat single off the handle from the Kentucky product Anu. Shoots it into right field. Zaratsky couldn't quite corral it, having to make a tough play go back into his left into short right field. And just dropped a little bit behind him. Might have gotten a piece of glove on it, just not quite enough. Williams moves up to second. That puts runners on first and second for Aubrey Major. Thorson gives the runner 2 looks at second and comes home. First pitch strike on the outside corner. Major today, 3 for 4 with a pair of doubles. He's had himself quite the day as well. Fastball, same spot right on the outer black, and quickly Thorson's ahead 0-2. So 10-0 Cotuit in the 8th. Thorson wounded a little bit here, but trying to stop the bleeding any further. Long pause on the mound, still working from the first base side. Finally, time's called as Major puts a foot out of the box. Now back in. Very open stance with his feet at the back of the box. Breaking ball from Thorson misses just away. Now Jackson Olsen, the Hyannis shortstop, had the only 3-hit day on the Cape back on opening night on Monday, where Hyannis dropped the contest 5-4 to the Anglers. But Major, a colorful 3-hit night tonight. Curveball from Thorson doesn't have the bend as it misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to the Xavier product Aubrey Major, who spent last summer with the Brewster Whitecaps for a short stint. But now round number 2 on the Cape, new year, new team. Thorson's 2-2, cut and a miss, tapped into the glove of Mitchell for strike 3. So Sam Thorson strikes out the side in the top of the 8th, but not before an RBI single from Oraj Anu plates an additional 2 runs to give the Kettleers a 10-0 lead here in Hyannis. Harbor Hawks come to bat in the bottom of the 8th. It'll be Justin Mitchell, Fox Simonis, and Adam Zaratsky when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Bottom third of the Hyannis order due up here in the bottom of the 8th frame as Cotuit sends right-hander Bo Hofstra back to the mound for inning number 2 of his evening. He's ready to go with the first pitch to Justin Mitchell. It's a breaking ball in there for a strike. Oklahoma product today, 0 for 1 with a walk. Popped out to second base in the bottom of the 3rd frame. 0-1 fastball on the outside corner for strike 2. Just 2 hits for the Harbor Hawks tonight. A double from Hunter Goodman in the 5th, and a single from Ian Fair in the 7th. 0-2 breaking ball, plunks the hitter Mitchell right on the top of the helmet, but flips the bat back toward the dugout and appears to be just fine as he trots down to first. First base coach will take a quick look at him, but he gives him the reassurance that he's more than fine. Leadoff man aboard for Hyannis. That'll bring up Fox Simonis, the James Madison third baseman, set for his 3rd plate appearance tonight. So Hofstra now giving up 1 hit and 1 free pass so far in his outing. With Mitchell aboard, Simonis with a chance to advance him and potentially progress the first Harbor Hawk run of the evening. Hofstra now goes to the stretch rather. First pitch, breaking ball down and away. So Simonis, a glorious year at James Madison. I mean, he put together a very, very stellar season as he was named to the first team All-CAA team. He takes a fastball low. Simonis can steal some bags as well, 14 of them to his name in 2019. Fastball from Hofstra right at the bottom of the zone and on the outer half. He was 2nd on the team in doubles, 2nd in steals, and 3rd in total bases. Getting his first start tonight for the Hyannis Ball Club as he cuts right through a Hofstra fastball, puts him in a 2-strike count. 2 balls, 2 strikes with nobody out. Cotuit still leads 10-0 here at McKeon Park. Hofstra gets the sign and the offering. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Fox Simonis, striking out for the 2nd time tonight. It's the 2nd punch out of the evening for Hofstra. There's 1 down in the bottom of the 8th. That brings up Adam Zaratsky, the Judson's 2nd baseman, who now gets extensive playing time under head coach Chad Gassman. Hofstra's first pitch, lefty Zaratsky pops it foul over the 3rd base dugout and out of play. So Zaratsky plays his college ball at Judson University, where Chad Gassman serves as the head coach and just finished up his 5th season over in Elgin, Illinois. Fastball from Bo Hofstra on the outside corner, quickly 0-2. But Zaratsky 0 for 4 last night, still in search of his first hit after a strikeout and a ground out today. 0-2. Fastball on the inside corner, strike 3 call. Hofstra freezes Zaratsky with an inside heater, and back-to-back strikeouts puts 2 outs on the board in the bottom of the 8th. So the Purdue righties got a trio of punch-outs now tonight, and Hyannis will flip the lineup over to leadoff man Mitch McIntyre. Infield back with the exception of the 3rd baseman Schmidt playing even. First pitch breaking balls are called strike. The first baseman Dodd still giving hold to the runner. That's Justin Mitchell after reaching with a leadoff walk. McIntyre swings and shoots one down the left field line. Over to his right is the left fielder in Hill, and he'll put it away coming toward the line for the 3rd out of the inning. Leadoff walk surrendered, but in the blink of an eye, Bo Hofstra gets out of the inning unscathed. Back-to-back strikeouts and a fly out to left sends down the Harbor Hawks in the bottom of the 8th, and Cotuit still leads 10-0 through 8 frames of play. We'll go to the 9th when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. We head to the top of the ninth here at McKeon Park in Hyannis with Cotuit leading the Harbor Hawks 10-0. As Hyannis sends in a new arm to the mound, it'll be the lefty Nathan Lavender making his first appearance on Cape Cod for the Harbor Hawks. His debut will consist of Mason Dodd, Cody Pasek, and Cameron Hill to start the ninth. He winds and deals the first pitch, brushes the hitter Dodd way off the plate with an inside fastball, and it'll be 1-0. Nathan Lavender just finished his freshman season up at Illinois in Champaign. Went 1-2 with a 4.08 ERA and 28 2/3 innings of work. Walked 24, struck out 37. He works from the windup, takes a breath, now comes home, breaking ball down and away. Mason Dodd today, 2 for 4, single and a 2-run blast. That came back in the top of the fourth frame. The opposite field shot right down the left field line. Fastball from Lavender's down low. There'll be 3 balls, no strikes. As he quickly gets his sign from Mitchell. Fastball comes in, and it hits the hitter, Mason Dodd. Sounded like it got him right on the top. Oh, wait a minute. They're going to call that a foul ball.
I believe that got him off the handle of the bat there.
I was going to say, it sounded like it hit some type of plastic right off the helmet or some sort of brushed him way off the plate, but I guess it got a piece of the wood. That's one way to keep the at-bat alive. So now the 3-1 comes in. Swing and a pop-up, short right field. In comes Mosley, out goes Zaratsky, and it'll be Mosley calling everybody off, but he can't get there. Drops in front of him for a base hit. Now taking off for second and getting there safely will be the hitter, Dodd. And just like that, another man aboard for Cotuit and into scoring position. This time it's Mason Dodd, and he's on at second to lead off the ninth. So a tough play from Mosley out in right field. Had to come in a long way. Looked like he had a chance at it, but maybe just couldn't quite extend the glove long enough.
Yeah, went for the basket-style catch coming in over toward where the center fielder was playing, McIntyre, and that's going to be scored as a double. It was a tough play for Mosley to range all the way over, Lyle, as you mentioned. But a runner in scoring position once again for the Cavaliers.
He was playing pretty deep in right field, especially after the Dodd homer earlier today. Now brings up Cody Pasek. First pitch, pops off the glove of Mitchell and gets behind him. Taking off for third, no problem, will be Dodd. And he stops right there as he hits the brakes and retreats back to the bag. That one ruled a pass ball, as Mitchell stood up out of his crouch to try and corral it, but couldn't quite do so successfully. So now Pasek already with a hit today has an RBI opportunity against the right-hander Lavender, or rather the left-hander as the southpaw misses high. Pasek came in to pinch hit in the top of the fifth for Grant Holman, so far 1 for 2. Now the offering, fastball low. So Pasek, hometown kid, right out of Cotuit, Massachusetts, here on Cape Cod, getting a shot with his hometown summer ball club, the Cavaliers. Lavender ready with the 3-0, right down central, strike 1. And you know, Mike Roberts, for as much success as he's had as a head coach, his 16 years, won a handful of titles, had glamorous after glamorous prospect come in and play for him. The 3-1 is shot over the head of Jackson Olsen and into left center for a base hit. Coming home to score will be the runner Dodd. He crosses home plate, no problem. And it'll be 11-0 Cotuit here in the top of the ninth. Second RBI hit of the evening for Cody Pasek, and it puts a man on first for the leadoff man, Cam Hill.
Yeah, when things are going good, they're going really good. And when things are going bad, well, they're going pretty bad. And tonight for Hyannis hasn't been the most sterling of nights, but definitely something they can shake off to try and move forward. Cotuit, however, credit to them. They've swung the bats incredibly well tonight.
So now that brings up Cam Hill. 6th time to the plate this evening. Inside fastball brushes him off. And much like the leadoff man Dodd, sent him way back out of the box. It's 1-0. But how about Cody Pasek making a name for himself here in Hyannis with a 2 for 3 day, pair of RBIs. Just bat to ball, a couple of solid base hits, both the opposite way. So that fastball misses inside. It's 2-0 to the hitter Cam Hill out of Kentucky. 2 free passes, a bunt single in the 4th. As the next pitch from Lavender is a strike on the outside corner. But back to Mike Roberts. For as much success as he's had, he's not afraid to take some flyers, especially on some local kids. Pasek, so far the story this year. As Lavender's next pitch is incoming, line drive out to right, Rigsby Mosley being sent back, turns the shoulders once and makes the grab, backpedaling. It'll send the runner back to first, that's Pasek, but allowed out from Cam Hill. Puts the first out on the board in the top of the ninth.
Yeah, it's a hard hit ball right there from Cameron Hill off of the bat. Got a good piece of wood on it, just right at Mosley out there and right. Had to take a couple steps back, but no problem for him to make the play.
So with one down and one on, it'll bring up Nick Gonzalez. But while Pasek, the hometown kid getting a shot last year, kid by the name of Luke Chevalier, got a chance in Cotuit last summer for Mike Roberts Ball Club. The lefty misses high and away to Gonzalez. Luke Chevalier was a kid who hailed from, at least in his bio, said Sioux Falls, South Dakota, but originally from the town of Cape Cod, specifically Cotuit, and grew up attending Kettleers games. 1-0 to Gonzalez is down. 2 balls and no strike to the New Mexico State second baseman. But Chevalier, who in fact didn't really want anybody to know he was even from Cape Cod, he didn't want people to take a sob story on him with him getting a shot as a temp on the ball club. He wanted people to just respect him for the pitcher he was. 2-0 from Lavender. Upstairs, and it's 3-0. But Chevalier got the chance he'd always hoped for up in the Cape Cod League with the Kettleers, and he held his own. He really did. ERA just under 3.7, 3-0 record, and 31 2/3 innings. 9 walks to 25 strikeouts. I mean, he gave Mike Roberts some valuable innings in 2018. 3-0 fastball, high and away, ball 4. 4th free pass of the day for Nick Gonzalez, as it'll send Cody Pasek to second, put Gonzalez at first, and bring Casey Schmidt to the plate. But Chevalier attended Northern State University. Just a small little school where he thrived and then thrived on the Cape, and as a result, he ended up getting selected in this past MLB draft just a week or so ago. He was taken in the 26th round by the Colorado Rockies, 789th overall. But he ended up signed for $125,000. And maybe not the most orthodox way to make it into the majors, but he did it. The first pitch to the hitter, Schmidt, misses high and outside. So Mike Roberts doesn't always have to be from the biggest school, but when he sees talent, he'll take advantage of it, even if it is a hometown kid. Chevalier made the most of his opportunities last summer. So far this year, Cody Pasek, the man who's come in to pinch hit, 2 for 3 tonight, making an impression as well. 1-0 brushes the hitter off the plate. That's Schmidt, and it'll be 2-0. Head coach Chad Gassman's going to call time. He's going to go out to talk to Nathan Lavender. Catcher Justin Mitchell will come out to have a part of the conversation as well. You know, Brendan, Lavender, first appearance on the Cape. Often there's some jitters. Night getting fairly cold here, but just isn't really fun on the plate so far in this 9th inning.
Yeah, that might be what Gassman just went out to chat with him about, is just the fact, you got to get it over the plate here and just settle down. And you're right, the jitters do settle in about, the first couple batters you face, and he's having trouble locating right now, but Gassman just perhaps taking a stroll out to the mound to try and settle him down. Sometimes that's all it takes.
So we'll see how the freshman responds here. Southpaw working from the middle of the rubber. 2-0 the count to Casey Schmidt. 2 on. Cotuit leading 10-0. Steps off the mound. Back no problem is the runner Pasek. Or 11-0 rather. It was 10-0 entering the 9th inning. But that RBI single from Cody Pasek put the sticks on the board. Next pitch, cut and a miss. 2-1 now the count to Schmidt is he'll take a walk around the batter's box. But while Lavender's up here, fastball command and, just command as a whole will certainly be something he'll be set to work on. He had 24 walks in 28 1/3 innings at Illinois. Now the next offering, foul back. So the walks at time could be a little bit of an issue. But having said that, his batting average against was just about as low as could be. .202. So maybe not as low as could be, but hitters certainly didn't knock him around the yard by any standards in his freshman year. So if he could just kind of shore up his control a little bit, he could be set to be a very valuable piece of the Hyannis bullpen going forth in the summer. He's got a fastball to go along with a changeup and a curve. Checks the runner and comes home. Changeup that's inside. The count runs full. So 2 aboard. Schmidt having a word with the home plate umpire, Rick Emerson. He's hitless today, 0 for 4 with a sac fly. Out of the stretch is Nathan Lavender, and the pitch cracked into center field. In comes Mitch McIntyre as he makes the play on the run, coming to his right. Throws back to the cutoff man as the runners retreat. So allowed out, makes the second out of the inning as a hard line drive right in McIntyre's tracks. And that'll bring up Cameron Williams, 2 on, 2 down.
Now, that's a nice read off the bat out in center field by McIntyre. That was a hard hit ball that time, right at him, but good judgment to make the play, coming in slightly to his right that time. And 2 down now for Williams.
So Lavender's ready to go. First pitch to Williams. Fastball inside. Cameron Williams, a switch hitter. Spent most of the day from the right side of the plate. Or the left side, rather. But he's ready to go. The next pitch on the ground. Olsen fields it on a hop. Takes it himself to the bag at second base. And that'll do it here in the top of the ninth. So an additional run scores on an RBI single from the hometown kid, Cody Pasek. But nothing more as Nathan Lavender escapes further damage. 11-0 Cotuit. Hyannis with its final licks coming up in the bottom of the ninth when we return on the Cape Cod Baseball Network. Last chance for the Harbor Hawks here tonight in the bottom of the ninth, as Jackson Olsen, Ian Fair, and Hunter Goodman, the 2-3-4, are due up to the plate. But Hyannis has a large hill to climb, down 11-0 entering the bottom of the ninth here against the Cotuit Kettleers in Game 1 of the Patriot Cup. New right-hander Richard Brereton fires home, and Olson fouls it straight back. Richard Brereton, right-handed pitcher out of Emory University. He works out of the windup from the first base side, gets the sign, and comes home, cut and a miss at a changeup. Olson swings right over the top of it, and it's 0-2. Jackson Olson not quite the same day as opening night. 3 for 4 on Monday, but 0 for 3 tonight. Looking to turn that around a little bit here to start the ninth, and the 0-2. Heater misses away. Well, Cotuit has scored their runs in bunches today. Out of their 11 runs, 4 came in the fourth, 3 in the fifth, 2 in the eighth. Olson taps one towards second base. In comes Gonzalez, fields it glove side, tosses over to first, and it's in time for the first out of the inning. So a good play. Gonzalez having to charge in onto the infield grass. Just field it out in front of him, and a quick flip over to first. So with one down, it'll bring up Ian Fair. But Cotuit has not been shy of scoring runs in bunches so far through the first 3 games. 3 different innings, they had multi-runs in an inning tonight. As Brereton's ready and delivers the first pitch home, swing and a miss from Ian Fair. But so far on the season, they had scored all their runs up to tonight in pairs per inning so far. In fact, they've done so 5 times in 2 games. Now the 0-1 from Brereton. Fair checks his swing, appeal to first, and he goes around according to first base umpire Doug Isham. So Cotuit, a loaded offense through the first 3 games. Tonight, highlighted by a couple of home runs from Orajanu and Mason Dott. The windup and the 0-2 offering on the way. Fastball misses outside. But Ian Fair, coming off a strong year at Northeastern University, looking to pick it up here in his 4th plate appearance of the night. 1-2 come in. Ground ball foul right side. It wasn't just a strong year. One could call it a monster year. He hit .357, slugged .520, had 15 extra base hits, but just found ways to produce for the Northeastern Ball Club. And now Fair looking to produce for Hyannis here to jumpstart something in the ninth. The windup and the pitch. Breaking ball on the outside corner, strike 3. Brereton fans Ian Fair for the 2nd out of the inning as he records his first strikeout of the night. And now the final hope for the Harbor Hawks, Memphis left fielder Hunter Goodman. So pretty quiet night now here at McKeon Park. Good majority of the Cotuit fans have stayed on for the end of it. They hail on the first base side as Goodman watches the first pitch go by down low. So after the 10-inning marathon against Chatham on Monday, where the Harbor Hawks just fell short 5-4, they're down to their last out in an 11-0 game as the ball's grounded toward third. This should do it. Schmidt up with it, throws across, and it's in time. Cotuit, a dominating win, 11-0 on the road against the Harbor Hawks as they pick up win number 1 in the 2019 Patriot Cup Series, 11-0. And it'll be win number 2 on their 2019 campaign as they move to 2-1 on the year. Well, Brendan, just a tough one for the Harbor Hawks tonight, all around, no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. But credit where credit is due to these Cotuit Kettleers tonight. They swung the bats well, and the start they got from Sean Sullivan really picked them up early on. He went 4+ innings in this one without giving up a hit before it was finally broken up by Hunter Goodman with the double earlier on in the ball game. But not much to speak of tonight on the offensive side of things for the Harbor Hawks, at least just 2 hits piled up in this one tonight. But a strong all-around performance from the Kettleers, and the Harbor Hawks will have to shake this one off.
Yeah, you talked about it. I mean, the offensive slugfest took center stage. There's no doubt about it. But you already mentioned it. What's kind of gotten lost in this whole thing for Cotuit is how just overpowering Sean Sullivan was. I mean, he took the ball for Cotuit tonight and was absolutely dominant. He went 4+, but through his first 4, 12 up, 12 down with 6 strikeouts. Mike Roberts opted to let him go until he gave up a hit. And then that first at bat of the bottom of the 5th, he surrendered the Hunter Goodman double. But man, was he dominant through 4 innings. I mean, nobody could touch him, and he was working so quickly, nobody could get into a groove.
Yeah, he was quite unbelievable tonight, Lyle. You mentioned it with the late life fastball and the nice breaking balls that he had. You know, he had that curveball working. He dropped a few changeups in to keep these Harbor Hawk hitters off balance for the majority of his outing. Well, pretty much all of his outing, actually, now that I mention it. But the start for Sullivan tonight really picked up Cotuit early on, and I think it really gave their offense some confidence that, hey, even if they did have a down day, which they didn't end up having, that Sullivan would pick them up in the end.
Well, once again, Cotuit takes the final score 11-0 and picks up their second win of the season to help them in the Western Division standings. The final line for each team: the Kettleers, 11 runs on 13 hits and no errors, while the Harbor Hawks, no runs on 2 hits with 1 error. Sean Sullivan, the winning pitcher tonight, he'll move to 1-0 on the summer. Meanwhile, taking the loss for the Harbor Hawks will be Ben Abram, moving to 0-1. We'll be back here tomorrow, weather permitting, against the Brewster Whitecaps, as the Harbor Hawks will be back at McKeon Park for their 3rd straight home game of the summer. That is, once again, if the weather holds up for us. But for one final time tonight, Cotuit wins 11-0. Alongside Brendan Howe, I'm Lyle Goldstein, signing off from McKeon Park, saying thanks so much for joining us again tonight, and we'll talk to you tomorrow evening.